Go on,
I ain't got no problem with it. I promise you that shit.
Listen to the words. Garbage, a joke, clown acts, pisses me off. No, come find me. No, come find me. Listen to the words. Come find me. Garbage, a joke, clown acts, pisses me off.
I ain't a hard guy to find. I promise you that shit.
Listen to the words. Garbage, a joke, clown acts, pisses me off. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is National Signing Day. Look, y'all can take that early and shove it up, you know what, because it is National Signing Day. 99.9% of the elites are gone today. Bye-bye, vanish, vamino. They're out. Nowhere to be found, except for Deuce Robinson, still out there lurking. Okay, and he's a good one. We'll talk about him, I'm sure, at some point. Somebody gonna ask. It's looking good so far. How about that? Open it up with some intel. Super big day for the University of Georgia. Let's give you some initial thoughts. Obviously, the class is done. Okay, apart from some transfer portal work that you're still working on, 2, maybe 3 there. Okay, and then whatever's gonna happen in February with Deuce. Apart from that, this is what it is. 2023 in the book. All right, so tonight we're obviously going to break it down. We're going to do it just like we do it on SI, which is totally different than any other network and any other place you'll ever find. My dumb butt has made it a point, and this is just me, but it's the way I think I will always cover National Signing Day until, I retire. And that's the fact that every single one of these kids has accomplished a lifelong dream, which is to play at maybe not necessarily the University of Georgia, but a football program like this. Every kid that ever played football wants to do what these kids did today, which is go play for free at the biggest university possible. They accomplished a lifelong dream to this point. I think it deserves a little bit more than just a live updates blog with timestamps of them turning in their letters of intent. I think it deserves a little bit more than, I like these 3 or 4 guys, right? I think it takes a little bit more. That requires a little bit more than that in return if you're going to do what I do. So on days like today, I think we released 31 articles on Dogs Daily today. So Jonathan Williams, Christian Gokel, Christian Kirby, Evan Crowell, Connor Jackson, the squad over there at Dogs Daily. Round of applause. Appreciate you guys. Tonight, this is all for you guys. We're going to break down every single one of these players, including the kicker and the snapper. Yes, I recorded film for the kicker and the snapper today. I can't freaking believe it. We also are going to start the show with, I think was one of my favorite interviews I've ever done with Monroe Freeling. And hopefully 2024 guys, if you're watching this right now, hopefully you get to see how Monroe's interview is different than any interview you will ever do with anybody. Okay. Because we're going to talk football, and I hope you guys enjoy that as well. I hate the interview just as much as you do that starts with, so why'd you choose Georgia? I'm not here to ask you that question either. We're here to talk about why Monroe is a great football player and why Georgia chose him. Okay. So you'll get that as well. And off rip before we get into actual film study, because after this, there are no more takes and opinions. It's all film evaluation, 30 on strong. I plan to be here for 3 hours. I hope you guys buckle up and roll with me as well. Obviously, there's news that might or may not break tonight during the show. Hope you guys can do me a favor and flood the chat with that. We got the team strapped up, ready to rock over on Dogs Daily as well. Great time to be in on this network with the lead up to Ohio State. We still got Ohio State coverage that's coming out on the public front. We've already done 4 hours over on Patreon, patreon.com/Brooks Austin on the Ohio State game. So if you want some intel on that one, head over there as well. But super excited about this 2023 class. Look, I thought they had 3 misses in the entire class. You know who they are. Caleb Downs, that's a miss in state. Okay. Justice Haynes, that's a legacy miss. Arch Manning, it's a miss because of how much you invested in it. You invested an entire class worth of capital at the quarterback position in pursuing Arch, and it didn't land. That's okay. We can talk about that being a miss, right? But those were it. I mean, apart from those 3 football players, if you had a target on the board, by God, you landed it. I mean, you absolutely landed it. And the prime example of this to me is Damon Wilson. Okay, to pull Damon Wilson off, and I tweeted about this today, to pull Damon Wilson off while also signing Sam Mpimba, okay, already having him in the fold, okay, and all the while knowing everyone in the world knowing what you did in 2022. Everyone in the world knowing that your edge class your edge position is already so good and deep that Marvin Jones Jr. had a tough time getting onto the field early, right? Like there is a lot of really good football players in that edge room, that Jack and Sam room, if you will. A lot of really, really great football players in that room, and probably the best or the most talented just entered it. We're going to talk about it. We're probably going to evaluate him last tonight, or one of the last guys we're going to evaluate tonight is Damon Wilson. I truly believe he is the best edge rusher Kirby Smart has ever signed. And I'm going to show you why tonight. The combination of just raw twitch combined with power, unforeseen on the high school level to date. So super excited to show you that one as well. So to pull those off, or to pull that one in particular off with the depth, that's Kirby Smart being Kirby Smart. No, I don't think any other football coach in America has the ability to do that in terms of stacking that much talent at that much or at that one specific position. Hey, did they land a 5-star receiver today? No, but I thought they landed some supremely talented and uniquely gifted individuals for what they needed. I think they needed another X, another Z, and they needed another super speedy guy out of the slot. They got exactly that, and we're going to talk about those as well tonight. Kirby Smart has been known for kind of the 3-star additions, right? Taking Eric Stokes and turning him into a first-round draft pick, taking the no-star Stetson Bennett and turning him into, or allowing him to develop into a Heisman finalist. Like these types of developmental stories, the Lad McConkeys, right? They happen every single year. I thought they added 2 tackles that have quote-unquote 3-star evaluations that were absolutely insane evals. Insane evals for them to have A, found these football players, B, got them committed as early and as late as they did. One super early, found him before everyone realized he was a dude in Joshua Miller. The other one, Jamal Meriweather, kept him in the fold. They had him up multiple times. They knew who he was. He was on the radar. They pulled the trigger late, walked into the door. Yeah, hell yeah, I want to be a Georgia Bulldog. Jamal Meriweather on the list today in the commitments list. So I thought they did a great job of identifying maybe talent that they needed at a position that they needed that's got tremendous amount of upside that, in my opinion, the industry missed on, and they'll come back around there. But here's the deal. Before we get into the tape and before we get into Monroe's interview, here is the most important thing about what I learned going back through all of my notes today. Okay. I can't tell you. I actually can. There was 10 of the 26 position players, 2 special teamers. Of the 26 position players that I evaled today, okay, 10 of them had big C's next to them. What do big C's stand for? In my evaluation, they are character eval pluses, right? Someone, whether it be my in-person evaluation or someone close to the situation whose opinion and, factual reporting I trust, reporting back to me with, this dude is a guaranteed character check. This dude guaranteed great in the building. This dude guaranteed loves football. This dude guaranteed great grades. This dude guaranteed not going to give you any lip. This dude guaranteed you can coach him hard. Okay, so for every wife scout that we talk about tonight, for every, oh, no duh, that guy's a great football player, didn't take a whole lot to find him, there's some really, really great character evaluations here as well. And they've placed value in that. If you can't see that, look at the transfer portal numbers, right? There's 2 from the University of Georgia. At the Power 5 level, I would venture to say that's the lowest amount of transfers in the entire sport. It's by design. Yeah, they're still playing. Don't get me wrong. Yes, that number will increase before the portal window closes. But there is a cultural difference, and there's a priority placed on super smart, intelligent, plus character football players. Without further ado, speaking of a plus talented character plus evaluation interview off the rip with Monroe Freeling. I'm going to finish my coffee. You guys get settled in. Hit that thumbs up button while you're here. Hey, get nice and cozy, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up. It's National Signing Day Super Show with yours truly. Hit that thumbs up button. I'm freaking juiced to be here with you, man. It's a great day. Here we go. All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Got a special treat for you here on today's what is it? The early National Signing Day Super Show. I don't know. Long couple of 24, 48 hours here for your boy. Got a special interview with Monroe Freeling. Okay. I want to read some things off to you as I add him in here. Okay. 6'6" 3/4. Okay. So damn near 6'7". Okay. 34.5-inch arms. Okay. 84.25-inch wingspan. 303 pounds. You're 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
That's a big boy. That is a very, very large human being. I think 10.5-inch hands. I heard that too. So like full on day one NFL, like that, those check like NFL boxes in terms of size. I guess this is a silly question. When'd you get this big? Did you always know you were going to be this big? Are parents this big? What's going on there?
I mean, I'm sure my parents did, but I've kind of just been on the steady incline, growing my whole life. But I think I was like 6'5" my freshman year, but like 230 pounds, haven't grown in my body, uncoordinated. So I think I really didn't reach this stature until I was like 17. Then I started to put on the muscle after I was like, all right, I'm gonna play football, get big, be an offensive lineman. So
this is, and I want to tell the audience this. There are two types of big boys. There are two types of offensive linemen, right? There are the offensive linemen who coach has to run to keep weight off and has to keep him out of the McDonald's lineup, right? Has to keep him off of the chicken biscuits in the morning, right? And then there's the other offensive lineman that literally has to shovel food down his gullet 24/7 just to put on weight and maintain good muscle mass and good weight. You seem to be the latter.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to be fat. That was kind of my thing, because when I was in middle school, I was like 5'10". I was pretty fat, pretty husky. The nice way to say fat, husky.
Big boned.
That's how I was. And then I got to high school, and then I was like, all right, I'm growing into my body. I was probably 210, 6'5", so I was getting skinnier. But looking back on it now, that was freaky how the way I looked. I looked like a skeleton straight up.
It's like a 7-inch jump there. You went from like 5'10" to 6'5", like
that was like sixth grade. Probably.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So you really stretched out over like 6th to 9th grade. I see what you're saying.
That's where it really started. I mean, I think I grew like 2 inches when I got in high school, but yeah, I didn't want to. I wanted to be an athlete. I consider myself an ATH, not an O lineman. So,
well, we were just laughing about it because we're about to watch your film. As someone who had to, I don't know the classification of what this is. It looks like relatively good football. I played small school football here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I prided myself off of being a guy who played both ways. Now, obviously, I was a Division II football player, but you're a 4-star, top 250, whatever you are, offensive lineman. People are going to watch your highlight tape. I think this thing's probably going to have multiple thousands of views. You made people sit through 4.5 minutes of defensive line footage, and I found that funny.
I mean, I just gotta let them know, if I put it at the end, they're gonna be like, "Oh, there's some D-line taste." But when I went on D-line, I was giving it all. I mean, my D-line coach actually, he had a lot of experience coaching in college. Like most of the college coaches that came to my school and to talk, they all knew him somehow, which is funny to me, but. Definitely enjoyed D-line in games, not so much in practice, because I'd go from being a scout team left tackle to like 2 or like
no reps off
6-man on defense, and then we run into our offensive team period, and I'd get no rest throughout the whole practice. But that's just what you got to do. Scout team All-American. So.
Scout team All-American. All right, let's do it. We got a saying right here. Let's shut up and let's grind the tape. Man, I'm excited to do this. I haven't done this in a really long time. I was also giving you some crap here. Huddle interface got you. Right before the defensive end or the defensive clips in, we get this beauty of a clip. Obviously, Huddle doing a great job here. Y'all want to know, like, if you're sitting at home, you listen to guys like fatheads like me on the radio or on the air talk about rolling your hips, engaging your hips, bringing your hips, yada, yada, yada. This is what it looks like, okay? Taking your hips beneath a defensive lineman, bringing them with you, okay, and taking him and rolling with him. Gotta love goal line, eh, Monroe?
Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
They had some issues on goal line this year, and it was as simple as getting guys uprooted off of the line of scrimmage. Goal line is as simple as take your guy, put him in the end zone, we score.
It really is. I mean, there's just a lot of young guys, especially on the edges, that just kind of forgot what they were doing.
Woo! Son. Okay, I hate huddle interface. We got to roll back 10 seconds, but that's okay with me. Okay, I love that we are underneath, right? We're 6'7", but we are playing underneath the pad level of the opposition. And this only comes, okay, guys, with good ankle flexion. Okay, look, his foot's completely in the ground, but he's playing with good knee bend, right? The knee's out in front of the toes, and the hips are low. We almost look like we're squatting in a chair. We almost look like we're lunging. Playing with great pad level despite the fact that we're 6'7". Hey, what are we doing at home to make sure we got good ankle mobility there, Monroe? Because I guarantee you guys work something to make sure you're not tight and stiff at 6'7".
Yoga. That's pretty
yoga
much
guy.
Basically, I'm a big yoga guy. I mean, at the gym right now, after every single workout, I go through a little routine, do all my yoga and all that. So that's kind of my biggest thing. My mom's a yoga instructor, actually, so I kind of learned from a little bit.
We talking hot yoga?
No. I mean, I sweat a lot. I look like I'm doing hot yoga, but it could be 60 degrees in the room, and I still be looking like that.
This looks like something between your sophomore tape and your junior tape and your senior tape that looked to be a concerted effort to me, making sure our hip level, not our chest, you still had a big chest, but you made sure your hip level was beneath your opponent. So we could really unleash our hips when we rise, right? Because we are a big fella. But I can even see it in your first like 2 or 3 steps. It looks like you're almost settling your base to get up underneath your guy. I don't know. Talk me through your process, I guess, in your footwork, because I know you have to work on getting low, dude. I know you do.
I mean, that was a big thing. I knew I didn't want to be a finesse blocker. I kind of just wanted to biggest thing for me was focusing on that technique and getting under them. I mean, I go to practices for colleges, and I'd kind of see what I learned there and kind of apply it and just staying low. So coming off the ball low, and then when you're making contact, then you explode through your hips and drive.
Coach, the term we use here is through the insteps, right? You hear Coach, offensive line coaches talk about that all the time, through the insteps. If you see Monroe right here in this lead up, it's bang, 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 right? And all the pressure is really through the inside of his knees and down through the inside of his feet. It really is good and great. The only thing I will say is that you effort to finish at such a rate that sometimes your feet come together, which is fine. I mean, you're fighting to finish. So I'm right here, we are gaining way too much ground in our steps, right? Our steps are almost 18 inches when I know y'all are supposed to be 6 inches up and over, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a great 6-inch step right there. That was boom in the ground. This second one is really elongated, but dude, I know what you're doing. You're going to hunt right now. Well, that's what you're doing, right? You're not trying to worry about perfect footwork here.
I mean, I got my man, I'm latched onto him. I'm finishing him. So, on the film tape, as long as I block my man, I'm not getting marked off. So
I love it.
God, love it.
There's a clip here in a little bit. I hope I didn't skip over it, where you take a guy almost completely out of the screen, and then the line judge is very clearly looking at you, and you put your hands up like you're a criminal. You're like, hey man, I didn't do anything here, knowing good and damn well you definitely did.
I've gotten in trouble before for that. So
excessive blocking, we've gotten some of those. I think this is it right here. This is definitely the clip, by the way.
Oh, it definitely is. I just had to do it,
I didn't mean to. I had to do it.
Everyone hates our school anyway, so we always get the worst refs.
Now, I'm fine with I would almost call these gather steps. I like that you do this because a lot of young offensive linemen, they'll just get overextended facing a bunch of slants and stunts. I don't imagine. Yeah, they seem to be a team that might have been stunting on you guys a little bit. Yeah. And what you're doing here is you're not gaining a ton of ground. But if you watch your first couple of steps, they're real short and choppy. Boom. Come on, huddle.
Yeah.
Either way, we're finishing all day on the film. Is that a 4-point stance I see on goal line, sir?
That is goal line 4-point stance.
So, that's flat back, low butt man wins right there. I see kids, Monroe. I see kids 4 and 5 stars put clips of them getting chopped basically on goal line, where the defensive lineman has decided that they are just going to make a pile right here. And the offensive lineman just falls on his back, and they put it on their highlight. And I'm like,
I had a lot of that, and I was like, there's no point in putting this in here. Like,
that's because it's not a highlight. What you're supposed to do is what you just did right here. If somebody wants to start cutting you, because they don't do this off rip, they do this like 4 or 5 times, 6 times, right? So by about the 2nd or 3rd time, man, you need to be like single leg, like going in for a single leg, trying to pick him up and dump him. Like, we need to start bear crawling him. We need to start getting in a 4-point and getting up underneath him and like clawing him out just letting him create a pile is letting him win. I love that. Like, this shit isn't, pardon my language, this stuff is not going to happen in college football. You're not going to get in a 4-point stance very often on what appears to be the 7. But I would imagine, was trying to get up underneath you. So you made a decision that, all right, let's go. You became a forklift. I love that.
Got to move them.
Got to move them. Put them in your parking spot, son. Is that another terminology you've heard? This is what we call it. Look, coaching terminology for you here. Imagine you were a parking spot, okay? And you're trying to put this guy in that parking spot any way we can, right? So if we're going to put him in our parking spot, our feet and our insteps got to be outside of his framework the whole time, right? We're bigger than him. Put him in your parking spot, just like you're doing. This is the definition of it. This would be a clinic tape clip of how you block to the 2nd level and put a kid in your parking spot. Dude, I'm good. We've seen enough. Okay, I told you this, and I would tell the audience this. The junior tape was not this, okay? The junior tape was not top 200, top 20 offensive tackle. Top 15 is probably what it's going to end up being. It might be top 10. Do you even know?
For what?
What is your overall rank as a tackle? Do you even know?
It might be, like, depending on the service, I think it's like top 10 at least.
Okay, it wasn't that for a long time, and it now is. Okay, and it came through. I would imagine. I mean, you got hot yoga going on. I would imagine there's some extensive lifting going on. I would imagine there's some extensive diet going on. There's some extensive work and effort that has, come to fruition here on the tape. So, kudos to you. Congratulations on what is an excellent National Signing Day for the University of Georgia. When do you enroll?
January 2nd. I mean, I enroll.
I'll see you in San Antonio, won't I?
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
We'll see you in San Antonio.
Yes, sir.
On mute too. Hey, how about that guy? That guy pretty intelligent, pretty well spoken for an 18-year-old man. I love watching those things with kids because, like, the yoga thing, right? Mom's a yoga instructor, had no idea. But when you see ankle dexterity like that and you see ankle flexion like that, as an evaluator, you go, hey, loose ankles, loose hips. What's going on here? What you doing? Probably doing some Saigon squat, baby. Probably getting low. Probably working on that ankle mobility. I bet he has very limited ankle issues in his past, despite the fact that he's 6'7". And I bet he's got very limited knee pain, despite the fact that he's 6'7". You don't learn that stuff unless you got guys coming on with you. Hey, appreciate Monroe Freeling for coming on here with us. I don't know his Twitter handles and none of that stuff, but y'all go follow him. He a dog. We're going to get into some more film study. We got a lot to do, so let's shut up and let's grind the tape. I'm going to remove that one. Hold on. We're going to stop that screen share. We're going to present a new one. Hope you guys are doing well today. I got to ask again, hit that thumbs up button. Okay, we got a lot of film study going through right now. Starting up next, We're going to do offensive line first, and then I think we're going to some type of defensive side of the football, and then we're going to work our way offense, defense, add a little special teams unit in there, and then we're going to give you my guys at the end. Before we get into this, I want to say this. Look, in years past, we've put quote-unquote 5 stars into my guys list. I thought that was too easy, okay? I'm hitting at a too high of a rate, okay? You should not be investing in the stock market and hitting at 80% rates, which right about now is what your boy's doing. But look, you can't claim George Pickens. You can't claim George Pickens is a good football player. Like, duh, the water is wet. The sky is blue, all right? So moving forward, what we call wife scouts, which are individuals and football players who my wife could look at me and say, Georgia needs to sign that guy. They don't count. We can't go out here and claim credit for takes about football players who are that good. So Sam and Pimba, you don't get my guide, okay? Even though you're my guy, of course. Damon Wilson, you don't get it. Raylen Wilson, you don't get it. AJ Harris, you don't get it. There's one more in there, okay? 5 of them. Joenel Aguero, you don't get it. You 5 guys, y'all are Sunday dudes. Y'all gonna play on Sunday. If you do everything you're supposed to, you're gonna be a first-round draft pick. I do not get credit for telling Georgia fans here on this network that you're a good football player. You're a great football player. We're gonna show that tonight, but you're not gonna be a my guy, okay? We will highlight these quote-unquote wife scouting players as they show up. We will leave the my guys off the list for the end of the night. So you will be able to put 2 and 2 together here, okay? You will be able to say, oh, they signed 5 offensive linemen and he's only showed me 4. Maybe the 5th is a my guy. There you go. Little tip of the cap to you guys. Shouts out for you being here. That's enough. Enough talking, enough all that good stuff. Let's grind the tape. I'm going to start here with Kelton Smith, a.k.a. Big Sweaty. That's what I got him listed as on the notes, and you will see why when we get a look at him. A big lumbersome, Southwest Georgia, Columbus native, Big Nasty. We can call him Big Sweaty. We can call him Big Nasty. If you play offensive line, if you play football, you know one of these. Kelton Smith, probably, really good at slap boxing. Okay, probably got some really, really heavy ass hands. I'm gonna go on and tell you that one too. So don't get into a slap boxing match with Kelton, but I'm going to tell you, as we see on this first clip, look where his hands are. First of all, hip open way over to that sideline. Look at that right hip. That right hip's pointing to coach over there. We have already opened the gate. We want to be a little bit more square there, at least a kick, maybe 2 kicks into our slide right here as he is. But the other thing that you will notice is look at his hand placement. His hand placement is real suspect as well. He's one of these bear huggers. He's not one of these, shoot inside, hands tight and accurate type of offensive lineman. These are things that we can clean up. These are things that we can coach. What we cannot coach is 6'5", 325 pounds with hammer claws for fist. All right, we can't coach that. We can't teach that. The good Lord gave him that. The other thing that I will tell you about Kelton, high effort guy. Super, super high effort guy. Will block guys out the screen. Ain't going to do it in a pretty form or facet. Ain't going to make it look nice and athletic. It's going to look gruesome and look like he was efforting to do so, but that's fine. He going to be efforting. All right. One thing I thought about some of these offensive linemen that Georgia has taken in years past is they haven't all been high effort guys. Some of them have been, projects and kind of guesses on heights and weights, but weren't like high-end blockers in terms of blocking to the echo of the whistle every single snap. I don't see very many of those football players anymore in this list of guys, okay? I stepped on all kinds of stuff up in here, and if my audio went out, I'm sorry, but we're going to keep rucking or chucking. Rucking, chucking, all that good word. Too much coffee. Too much coffee. Let's keep taking a look at Kelton. There you see him on the left now. Carver Columbus High had an offensive tackle last year. Elijah Pritchett. He was my number 1 tackle on the board. Unfortunately, I think Georgia got in a little too late on that one. I don't know whose fault that was. But that was a daggum good football player there last year. Not that Kelton isn't. I'm just telling you, Elijah Pritchett, this dude that was playing left tackle over here. Let's go look at him. Hold on. This guy right here, 57. He's playing for Alabama right now. He's a Sunday guy. He was in 2022, and they signed him in 2023. You were late on this one, and that's why you missed him, per my sourcing, okay? And he's super early on this one, and you took him. Had they been in the inverse, that would have been awesome. Might have had a better chance at Elijah, because Elijah, again, that's the Sunday guy. Not that Kelton can't be, but this is again, this is much more of a high-effort grinder, multiple position play type of football player. Bo Hughley up next. 6'7" is Bo Hughley. He has lost some weight since this film that we're looking at. I would have eyeball scouted him last year, okay? You guys know I'm big into my heights and weights. I would have eyeball scouted Bo Hughley last year at this time at about 300 pounds. He's always been kind of rail thin because he's so tall. I mean, he's real tall and long. I think we're size 18 shoe, big old feet on that joker too. But doesn't carry a lot, like any weight, like no bad weight, no good weight. Okay, he's just a tall, lanky, probably 290 right now is what I would say Bo Hughley's rolling around with. If you look at those state championship photos I took of him, you can see he looks more of like a 1990s tight end than he does a 2022 offensive tackle, if that makes sense. If you told me he were 285 pounds, I would not be surprised. If you told me he were 295, I would not be surprised. If you told me he was 310, I'd be floored. There's no way. But anyways, a super long and aggressive football player is Bo Hughley. Was always a guy that was very camp strong, okay? If you put this dude in a tight box, okay, in a one-on-one situation, and he can extend those arms and really like punch you, son, he was great. So when he went to all these summer camps, dude, he would absolutely FSU. He would tear people up. And it's why you would see a lot of, he would go to events and then he'd leave the event and he would bump up all these rankings because he did a great job and he's great in a one-on-one setting. There's some refinement in his game that still needs to be done, right? There's some refinement in his game that still needs to be done. But, I mean, he could tie his shoes without bending over, right? Very similar and akin to a length and a height play as Monroe Freeling, who we just watched, was. Okay? Still doing the Travis Hunter thing. Y'all subscribe to this channel, I hope. And I know a lot of you don't. Play a little too high. There's a false step there as well. See that foot jump backwards? That right foot. Look at that right foot, guys. See it go backwards? False step. We don't want to go backwards. We want to gain ground at all times. Playing a little too high. And even when we got to the second level, we were playing a little too high. Okay, but we got to the second level. All right, up next, Joshua Miller. Now, you're going to get a little bit of like a storyline and a story arc on every single one of these football players tonight. That's why you're here. Okay, so every one of these guys, I hope to give you a little bit of a nugget. Okay, you would be getting these nuggets all year round if you were on patreon.com/Brooks Austin. So let's give you a nugget right now on Joshua Doogie Miller right here. Okay, Joshua was a Penn State commit. Okay, he plays at Life Academy in Pennsylvania. And he came down to Georgia in January after the Natty. All right, he was like, I want to say maybe 345 pounds, doughy, like real doughy. Not carrying it well. 6'5", big kid, long arms. Tape looked relatively good, was moving halfway decently. They thought, this might be a guy we need to keep tabs on. He shows up in the summer. 5 months later, he's lost 35 pounds. I mean, he's and if you're an offensive lineman, you know what I'm talking about. That beat just light on them feet, dancing bear. Stacy sitting over there, Eddie Gordon sitting over there, and man, what y'all think? We can't let this guy go to Penn State, can we? No, you can't let him go to Penn State. Got to bring him in. So it was a complete overhaul in the body. And what I have found about kids, particularly young men, who have overhauled their body, gone from fat to skinny or super rail thin to like buffed up and beefy. A, they're ultra confident. B, they're probably disciplined, right? They're probably disciplined and they probably have a level of leadership about themselves that people their age don't, right? As is true with Joshua Miller, one of these C guys, one of these high character evals. So there you go. Here we go. On to Joshua's tape. And it is great. You're going to see some super athletic stuff right here off the rip. They are certainly, I mean, that's ridiculous. Look at the speed change from here, guys. Once he clears the trash, it's this big boy right here. Once he clears the trash, watch him accelerate and find this alley defender over there in the corner. Woo! Okay, and when you're talking about an offense that is now moving and evolving into a counter-based scheme, trying to run a little bit of, how many times you've seen Georgia run tunnel screen to Brock Bowers in a similar sense like this with Roderick Jones out into the flat. There's Josh Miller doing a very similar thing like this right here. Wham, okay? And he is meeting you with physicality and violence at the point as well. You're going to see a supreme athlete in 71 right here. And the effort, man, this is the big boy's dream. I promise you. You run this on air all week, they're like, hey, guys, they're an odd front team. So, Josh, hey, we might have a little remember the Titans moment, right? You might be out there leading us, as a lead blocker out in space with a safety coming to meet over the top, right? We got a little sunshine and, a little backside George reverse going on right here. And boom, what do? You clear it out and score a touchdown, okay? High effort, high character. I don't love all the tossing stuff. It was well noted in my documents here for Josh. Guys, we watched Monroe for 13 minutes, right? What was Monroe doing? He was bringing them hips. He was taking guys and lifting them and forklifting them, right, and putting them down. None of this yanking, twisting, pulling crap that they don't let you get away with on board drill. So why are we putting it on our highlight tapes? Don't do that. This is what we want. That's what we want. We want you getting, little Michael Orridge. Shouts out to the blind side. That's what we want. Like this right here. I want you to lock and latch with defensive players and want you to carry and drive your feet. That's a beautiful, beautiful rep from Josh Miller right there. Here he is again running counter, okay, sorting through the trash and sticking his foot in the gas. Look at the movement skills, man. Look at the movement skills of an elephant out there. That is a big human being running around. I saw some reports today of people claiming that so-and-so's versatile offensive lineman, so-and-so could do such and such. This dude could probably play guard and tackle. The guy we just watched, guard. Kelton Smith, guard, 100%. 100% guard. This dude might be able to kick slide out at right tackle. My guy in this class, might be a Sunday guy out there left tackle. We already watched Monroe, so we ain't got to watch him no more. Get past him, even though it was a really, really good tape to watch. I don't know why YouTube wants to be so delayed. This is Gabe Harris. We already jumping into Gabe Harris? Oh, okay. Put a ball in this offensive line class. Before, we got one my guy left, and we haven't talked about him yet. Hopefully, you guys can pick him out. He actually didn't sign today, but there's some reasons as to why. Offensive line class, I did not particularly love what they did in 2022. I think it was on the record with that. I don't think they loved what they did in 2022 with 365 days of hindsight. All right, so they needed to make some changes and flip over a roster really, really quickly. I think I hear my son telling me night-night. But they needed to flip some things over offensive line-wise quickly, and they did exactly that in this class. All right, so I think some really, really solid additions. There were a couple of guys in that class last year where I was like, man, like, bro, I know guys up at school, not Georgia, in the SEC that didn't take that guy. So what are we doing? Kind of deals was kind of my questions last year at times. This year, not so much. There's some good evals here, man. Some really, really good evaluations. Joshua Miller being one of them. Jamal Meriweather, my guy. We're going to show you later as to why. Gabe Harris up next here. We're getting into the defensive linemen. We're going to flip over. We watch the offensive lineman here. We're going to flip over and watch defense. Hit that thumbs up button. As always, we are live here on YouTube. Shouts out. This is not pre-recorded. This is your boy standing right here for however long it takes to get through all of these guys. So, yeah, appreciate you for being here. Enough thanking you. Let's put Brooks back to work. We're definitely going to end up stripping the Perka at some point, this little jacket right here. Gabe Harris. Actually, I want to do something here because I don't think I've ever told this story publicly. I've told Gabe this, so I'm comfortable telling it now. I went down to see Gabe. Y'all know I do my spring evals. I go and see as many schools as I possibly can. I think I saw 54 schools this spring. Okay, a lot of Georgia commits. I think I saw like 27 Georgia commits in just the time between all the classes that they have in the in-state kids. And obviously went down to Valdosta and saw Gabe. He had been at Valdosta maybe 2 weeks. Shelton Felton is the head football coach. He's obviously was connected to that Jeremy Pruitt staff. They run a very, very similar defense to what Georgia runs. One of the worst practices I've ever watched an athlete have from an effort standpoint was just not, it must have been just a bad day. Just not there, was not really efforting, was definitely not playing through the echo of the whistle, was not really attentive in meetings, or not meetings, in position groups, right? In individual periods, wasn't really keen to coaching, all these things. They run a 2-minute drill period where, hey, we're trying to ramp up energy of practice. Everybody else around him's playing buzz speed fast, like hot, like running. This is Valdosta high school football. They're like playing. And, Gabe's dragging a little ass. And I'm not fond of it. Don't love it. I drove 5.5 hours back thinking, what do I do with this? Because I have a supremely talented football player who I know is extremely gifted. We've seen what he can do in the spurts that he's playing at a high level. But if you don't practice, you're not, like, no matter how good you are, you're not going to click. Like, it's not going to happen for you when you get to college. So I'm thinking about all these things. And it's about 3 months later that Valdosta comes up to Parkview. And they go through a padded camp right in the middle of summer, July padded camp. And so I'm going to see Gabe Harris today. I don't care if it is raining. I don't care nothing. We are going out to see Gabe Harris today because I got to know, did something change? And by God, if he wasn't playing like his damn hair was on fire, boys, I'm talking about ran till his tongue was dragging. I'm talking about called the same coaches and the same people that I was like, I don't know, coach. Hey, now pick him up, go get him, gotta have him. Dude's playing like his hair is on fire, like he cares. So in a matter of 3 months, this is why you gotta be careful about young kids. In a matter of 3 months, the dude's entire character evaluation flipped. And all it took was someone to kind of just emphasize what it takes to be a professional in this business and what it takes to be a professional at your craft. When you watch this is a dude who had the light bulb click in a senior year where he had a lot of adversity. Okay, some of it might have been what some people would deem self-inflicted. I don't believe in that nonsense. Play and transfer wherever the hell you want, okay? Here we go. Let's grind the tape on Gabe Harris. Long story short, kudos to a young man who figured out how to develop a work ethic in a matter of time that a lot of people in this life don't figure out, okay? So good on you, Gabe Harris. Let's watch it. An absolute, fit in. Plug him in. He looks like everybody else in the room at this position, without a doubt. I meant to reset this while I wasn't screen sharing. Absolute, without a doubt. Plug him into the room. He physically looks like he belongs. We're going to filibuster a little bit more because I don't really know why this thing's taking so much to run this little YouTube clip. It's a basic little YouTube little loaded screen. Nothing fancy, nothing cool. Okay, we do this all day, every day on this network. I don't know why StreamYard wants to be a little girl about it right now. On National Signing Day of all days, we trying to be out here and be elite for this fan base, and YouTube's out here being a little punk. I don't know about where you guys are from, but where I'm from, being called a punk is the worst thing that can happen to you. He fits in, okay? 6'5", 245 pounds, fits the mold. Looks like what they all look like now, except for one guy who happened to be a White Scout guy. That would be Sam Mpemba. Sam Mpemba looks nothing like the rest of these dudes. All of these guys look like this and look like this. They look like big, stretched out avatar-looking guys. All right, 6'4 plus, 230 plus, 34 arm inch length plus, right? Big, tall, long. Why? Why are they doing this? I have a theory. Why are they doing this? Why are they getting bigger, taller, longer? Why are they no longer recruiting Nolan Smith? Nolan Smith would not get recruited anymore, guys. You know who Nolan Smith is in this class? He's Quay Russo. Georgia let that go to Alabama. Okay, great football player. They don't know what they're going to play him at. They really don't. No one has a clue. Is he an inside backer or is he an outside backer? Because he's 6'2 1/4", 225 pounds. What do we do? Okay, because Quay Walkers exists now, right? This, however, fits the new mold. The new mold, in just a matter of 3 years, has this flip. 4 years has this flip. The new mold is 6'4 plus, 240, 230 plus, rather. Okay, got to be big, tall, and long because the ball is getting out faster. Okay, so we got to have taller people clouding more windows. We got to have taller, more athletic people who can do stuff like this. Again, he fits. He just looks like the rest of them. All right. Whereas, like, I loved, kid from Phoenix City. I'm going to forget his name. He ended up committing to Clemson. I love his tape. He's not the mold. That's going to bug me all day. Oh, well, back to Gabe. Watch this overhand swipe. Okay, watch this. Whoop. Okay, good hand movements, good hand skills, and he's got that turn, that gear, that burn, right? He's got that flip it over, and let's go. This is against Jamal Dumas Johnson and Deshaun Womack's team up there from Maryland. They play good competition, okay? It is IMG Academy. Occasionally, they'll play dog water comp like they just did on that previous clip. But this dude, he's walking through over at left tackle. That's a big, wholesome boy, okay? That is not no Jimmy from down the street. That's a big boy. Same for this situation here. Good speed rush on Gabe. He's got a really, really good first step, okay? If you told me that you thought he was 85 to 90% of Marvin Jones Jr. from a year ago, I wouldn't say no. I would not say you are wrong. I think that's 100% accurate or damn near accurate. There's that overhand swipe again. Here comes Phoenix City. Parker. Something Parker. Damn it. Starts with a T. Why are you doing this to me, YouTube? Is it because I'm live today? Is it because the ops are right after me? What's going on? Seeing some comments about Bama having a good National Signing Day. Yeah, they did, as it was expected. They're going to have a really good National Signing Day when you sign two guys like Caleb Downs and Justice Haynes. They also signed two quarterbacks. That was weird. Dylan Lonergan and the whole Eli Holstein kid. Big fan of Lonergan. Holstein, super long. Ooh, that stuff is ugly. That motion. Not a fan. Not a fan. We will see it very, very soon out there in LA. I think he's an Elite 11 guy. He might be. I think it's the pick. Last play we're going to watch from Gabriel Harris. He gets his hand on this, and his teammate gets a hand on it, and he picks it. One thing I did like about this is Ja right here. One thing I did like about watching Gabriel is we already talked about just like the character maturation and the ability to learn how to play the sport. Guys, he spent the last calendar year in the identical system that Georgia runs, to a T. I mean, not obviously the complexities of it aren't there, but it would be like if I had to teach you Algebra 1 and then you go take Algebra 2 and pre-calc once you get to college. But you walk into college with a complete knowledge of Algebra 1, and everybody else just has to start learning Algebra 2. That's how this works. So if we get to, and I think he's already there. Yeah, he's definitely already there. If we get a week from now, 2 weeks from now, and people are like, oh, Gabe Harris is playing fast. Gabe Harris is flying around. Gabe Harris is doing, well, because Gabe Harris knows the playbook better than anybody else on the field right now that is a true freshman, okay? Because the playbook, again, down to terminology and alignment is identical to what Shelton Felton was doing at Valdosta and what Brian Niedermeyer was doing at IMG Academy. You know why? That's right. They were both on Pruitt's staff in Tennessee, who was a Bama guy who runs 4.25 nickel mint. Coaching trees. They're fun, ain't they? Yeah, they are. All right, Big Ja, or as we call him, the Taj Jamal. Taj Jamal. We called that one out on Discord today. I'm pretty fond of it. I'm also fond of putting that you killed 6 offensive linemen in your huddle stats. So I found that funny today when I saw that. All right, let's talk about Big Ja here, guys. And he is big. All right, little nug here for you. He's listed at 6'6", 340, I think, is what all the sites have him at. Boy, he's a bench press bar away from that. All right. He is a big boy. All right. And he moves fairly well for someone who is this large. Okay. And so much so that Grimsley would do things like this, like play him out on a 4-eye and have this poor right tackle pissing down his leg in the middle of the second quarter. It's just not fair. I do sometimes wonder how big is too big. Is Jamaal Jarrett, okay, is this guy the run stuffer, or is this guy that he can play on 3 downs guy? And here's the deal, it doesn't really matter because for 3 years, Jordan Davis was just the run stuffer. It wasn't until his senior year where he's running sideline to sideline, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, running for the Heisman, kind of doing stuff, running at 19 and a half miles an hour, that people started realizing, oh, this is a first-round draft pick, okay? But this is, I think, about 30 pounds of realignment from being that. This is an elite, powerful, elite specimen, okay, who has a step up on Jordan in the sense that he knows what he wants to be going into college. Jordan was a guy who had to learn a whole lot about playing football, particularly playing defensive football, upon entering college. Ja, not going to have to deal with that. Here's what I love about this. They had to sign one of these guys, okay? And there were only 2 of them in the country, in my opinion. There was Jamaal Jarrett and there was Sadir Mitchell. Xavier McLeod lost way too much weight all the way through the season to even be considered a true mid-front zero like Jamaal Jarrett or Sadir Mitchell, okay? Once Sadir Mitchell was headed out to Texas, they about wanted both of them. They about got them both, which would have been elite. But there was only 2 of them in the country, and you got one of them. So I think that was an elite job by Trey Scott and all involved. This is the key, right? Can we do this on a repetitive basis? Because teams are going to run away from you, dude. They are not going to bother running into a gap, okay? If you are elite at what you do, if you are elite at clogging, teams will not run at you. They will run away from you. So when they go to run stretch zone, or when they go to run power, or when they go to run counter away from you, how great are we going from backside B, which is where we are right now, when the running backs got +2 of horizontal, lead on us? How fast can we close that gap? If we can do this on the college level, I'm signing up for you. We will elevate you to a my guy. We will retroactively put Jamaal Jarrett in the my guys list the moment, and the singular moment, that someone tells me he's hovering around 335 pounds, okay? When you tell me he's playing at 335, playing at 340, I'm good. But if we're playing at 350, 360, 370, can't be doing it. Can't be doing it. Up next, Sam Mpimba. All right, now, first of all, look at that stance out there over that left tackle. Woo, woo, woo. Scary, scary stuff. Let's talk about this dude. Now, I want y'all to know a little something about Sam. Okay, if you look up one of his profiles in one of these companies that does rankings or whatever, if you look up his profile in one of these places, you'll probably see that there was at one point some confusion about what position he was going to play. His first 2.5 years of high school football, he was a tight end. People thought he was going to be a tight end. He sized himself out of the tight end position relatively quickly. Next thing you know, he was like 235 pounds, and people were like, nah, we're good. He's 16 years old. He's going to be a big man. Nigerian in his blood, so going to put on weight like nobody's business. Already has put on weight like nobody's business. Big, thick kid, needs to put his hand in the dirt and get after quarterback. So that was about, I would say, November of his junior year. Okay, November of his junior year, they're like, all right, you're going to be a pass rusher. So from November of his junior year until this, what we're about to show you, is when he actually full-fledged dedicated himself to developing a pass rushing skill set. So in about, what's that, 5 months, 6 months, an off season. In an off season, this dude developed one of the nastiest bags. Devontae Parker's his name. Nastiest bags of pass rushing skills to date in a 5-month pass period. Let's take a look at it. Okay, again, you're going to get a little bit of an additional breakdown on top of the film breakdown tonight. because I do study these kids and get to know them quite a little bit in terms of their background, what makes them them, and why they're great football players and why they were selected to be Georgia Bulldogs. Check this out. Left tackle, by the way, Francis Mauega, committed to Miami. I don't think he signed today. This is a dude. This is like the number 2 tackle in the country over here at left tackle. Okay, he's seen a thing or two, I believe. All right, check this out. Whoop! See ya, boys and girls. When you can play at this, look at this. When you can play at that right there, when you do stuff like this and put it on tape quite often, he's going to ghost him again here. Actually, speed to power here. Go straight to a bull rush on a 320-pound left tackle, who I think is a guard, by the way, but runs right through his chest, okay? So we saw the speed, we saw the bend, we saw the twitch, and then we see the speed to the power, okay? Now we saw the outside sticky. Watch him give the hand, okay? Watch him show the hand on this next clip. I love this. We're going to slow it down for you so you can see it, okay? This is the refinement, is what I'm talking about. Really, really quickly, this happened in this young man's career. Watch. Okay, he's going to come off the line of scrimmage. He's going to press the tackle. He's going to show his right hand right to his chest. Okay, as soon as he shows his hand to his chest, he's going to pull it down and immediately work to ghost and dip up underneath the shoulder pad of this right tackle, who's now completely opened his gate. It's like year 5. It's like year 4 stuff. Like I have been training with Chuck Smith. I have been training with Niedermeyer. I have been training with Pass Rush University. I have been training with Kevin McAlmont. I have been doing all of these things, and I've learned this skill set. Not I absorbed it in an off season. No, that doesn't normally happen. Okay, so that move, knowing to press the inside before I work the overhand swipe, right? Knowing to press the inside gap, that B gap of this tackle before I work the overhand swipe and capture his edge and continue to bend and get around to get to the quarterback, right? Now, this stuff is God-given. This stuff, I don't ever have to teach him. I can just let him do. This is the stuff that Nolan Smith's got, okay? Whereas, I'm seeing stretch zone to me, so I'm going to play out, right? I'm seeing zone to me, but now I'm seeing the hole open back up, so I'm going to jump back inside right quick and make this tackle. Like that short area quickness, he's got that 100%. And, he's relatively powerful as well. A wife scout. Wife should be able to walk up to the field and say, hey, 0, that guy over there, that guy doing that stuff, he's good. We should bring him on our football team. We should make sure that he plays wherever you're coaching, son or hun. That kind of thing. That guy running down his own back in 7-on-7, or his own back in a spring game, we should probably go get him. He's probably a good football player. He is. Here's what I'll tell you about Sam. Sam's as small as they go. Moving forward until something changes, until they go to a traditional 3-4 or whatever, this is as small as they will go at outside linebacker. Okay, so if you think you're going to play at Georgia, here's his measurements. He's 6'3¼ He's 249 pounds as an 18-year-old senior in high school. He's 249 pounds, okay? And I believe he has 34.25-inch arms, okay? So that's as short as they come nowadays. So like Chaz Chambliss, love him to death. Super high energy, super high effort, super high character guy. They may take guys like that moving forward anyways. But 6'2¼ ain't playing no more. It's not. 6'3½, bare bottom floor. They got to get taller and longer at these positions, unless you're one of these, who I think, by the way, if you look at that, if you project that out, if you give him 2 years to sit, that's a 10-sack guy. That's a Von Miller type of bend in that human being and twitch in that human being. He's an elite athlete. He's going to take some time, though, okay? He needs some time to continue to play this position at a high level. So a developmental wife scout guy, if there are such things. Believe it or not, we're going to call it that today. Can't remember who's next. We're going to find out together. I think it's Damon Wilson. I don't understand. Like, it's just your basic. I uploaded an unlisted video and just, like I always do. And this thing wants to be difficult. I guess we're going to turn the quality rate down just a little bit. Not too much, because I don't want you guys' experience to go all to hell here. But we got to get moving, man. We're an hour in. And if YouTube don't quit messing around, I don't know what's going to happen. All right, here we go. Damon Wilson. White Scout. They signed 2 of them at this position, this edge position, man. And this guy, like I said earlier, is the best that I've seen Kirby sign at the edge position. And here's why. Here's why I stand by this opinion, if you will. I have not seen this combination of get off, twitch, whatever you want to call it. I have not seen this combination of get off, bend, hand fighting skills, and raw power and strike force like this dude's got. Okay, I've seen Adam Anderson. He went to Rome High School. I was in college right down the road. You don't think I went? We saw that. I saw that live. It looked like you would think it looked like. He moved like you think he would move. Okay, but I also know if they put a tackle and a tight end on him and double teamed him, they could reset him 4 or 5 yards in high school. And in college, that became unplayable on first and second down. Okay, so as great as Adam Anderson was, he was this type of body and this type of twitch and this type of athlete without this strike force. Okay, so there hasn't been one of these. Darius Smith is this kind of athlete, has nowhere near the refinement and might not ever get the refinement of this football player. This is the best combination of high character, elite refinement in the pass rushing skills and the skill set of the player entirely, and just the God-given abilities. He's 6'5", 235 pounds, and he looks like he's 180 if you look at him. The frame looks like it might be able to hold another damn 40 pounds. There's no telling just how good this football player is going to be. And I think Damon Wilson can walk in right now, University of Georgia, play 35% of the snaps, and just walk by tackles. I mean, walk by tackles. There is nobody that I have seen get off the ball like what I'm about to show you right here. This is some nasty, nasty stuff. Okay? This is against Lakeland, okay? The team that ended up beating them in the state title game. This is the spring game. We're going to watch a lot of his spring footage. His senior cut clips aren't made yet. But watch this first step, guys. My God. He looks like he's shot out of a cannon. Look at that little subtle. These aren't sped up. This is 100% him. And there's the power. You're going to see this a couple. This poor right tackle, he gets absolutely abused. You're going to see this a couple times where he just gives him a little, like one hand, just boom, right to the shoulder. Guy just goes flying. There it is, just right inside, speed to power. There's that get off again. Just working that edge. Turns them edges so quick, man. So quick. Left side, right side. See a lot of young pass rushers have a better get off from the left than they do the right. Not this dude. This dude shot out of a cannon everywhere he goes. Overhand. He jumped him right there. Look, he hits him with the, I don't know the terminology of this, but he's going to leave both feet right here. Boom. Okay. And then clear and get that right foot back towards the quarterback right now. And now he's working flat. Again, the combination of raw God-given abilities, the skill set and the refinement of the skill set, and just the overall effort and character, man. It's just an elite evaluation. Top to bottom, will not miss. I just don't know how this guy misses, period. Here's some actual game footage. The left tackle, I mean, granted, he's left in his stance. But how could you not be? There's no way he thought that was real. He took his eye off the guy once and just boom, right by me. Couldn't even blink. Here it is again, top of your screen. I mean, just, woo, son. Splitting doubles at the top. Plays with a lot of energy, a lot of effort. Okay? And came to Georgia because he bought into whatever Kirby Smart sells these kids. Good God Almighty. I know the opportunities at other places were better, guys. For whatever you want to talk about, we're not even talking about NIL. We're talking about playing time, access to playing time, all that good stuff. He's going to play early at Georgia, he would have been hands down. He would have been the best player on Ohio State's football roster defensively. It wouldn't have particularly been close. Both their edge rushers are leaving. Oh, hey, let's watch a 56-yarder field goal from Peyton Woodring. Come on, brother. Boom! Look at that leg. No analysis here. Zero, zilch, nada. We're just going to watch it. Look, man, you don't come to the film guy to watch kickers, but we got him for you. Shouts out Jamie Goodman was giving me crap today. Man, how many times you watched Jake Camarda flip the field, man? You remember the days of Rick when we had to pooch kick all the time because we didn't have a guy. Valid. How about him? Oh, and Will Snellings. We got long snapper footage here too. Shouts out to the Rubio Award winner. Oh, dude. Hey, coach, put it in the book. Come on, coach, put it in the playbook. I got to see it. Put it in the playbook. Hold on. Give it to me, Will. Hey, little long snapper 2-point conversion, dog. Come on, man. We're having fun tonight. He had like 2 or 3 of those. Yeah, get lit 7. I don't think that counts as a touchdown, but it should. Hey, we saw a little punt snap here. I know the footage is really, really grainy, but he's throwing seeds. One thing I will tell you about Will, all jokes aside, okay? One thing, he is a legacy. Dad went to Georgia, played with Kirby, but nonetheless, this is a guy that turned down scholarship opportunities to go play at mid-major football teams, like as a linebacker, to come snap footballs at Georgia. So, yeah, he actually is a really, really good athlete. He throws seeds. He runs his butt off. Look, his head's up right there looking for the ball. He downs this football. The camera guy can't even catch up with him. He pursues and plays. Okay, he is not a snapper who plays football. He's a football player who happens to snap, if you will. Okay, not to glorify a position that's not all that, but hey, snappers need love too. Should I tell a long snapper story? I'm gonna tell the long snapper story. Nah, we'll bless the reviewers here, the rewatchers, the on-demand viewers. You guys would enjoy that story, but we don't need it. I got one career attempt as a long snapper. I'm telling it anyways. I love this story. Okay, we're playing West Georgia. West Georgia got 2 All-Americans. Dylan Donahue, he's a defensive end, but he was playing special teams harder than he was playing defensive end because we played D2 football. So he was trying to put special teams tape on so he could get drafted in the NFL as like a 4th, 5th round draft pick that they knew would be a hunter on special teams and provide some, pass rush abilities, right? He ended up getting drafted 4th, 5th round. The other All-American that they had was the punt returner. Now, this dude only punt returned. He did not play receiver. He did not play corner. He did not do anything. He went back there however many times a game, and he caught the punts. And that's it. And he was an All-American at it because he was so damn good. So at that point, I'm a redshirt junior. I had no career snaps in college to date, despite the fact that I was always the backup snapper. Our snappers were always decent and always healthy. So, emergencies never came. Well, midway through the 3rd quarter against West Georgia, my redshirt junior year, the coach comes over. Hey, Bruce blew out his shoulder covering the last punt. You got to snap. I'm in double knee guards. I'm 305 pounds at this point. We're like full air raid. I'm snapping the ball and eating donuts just to keep weight on, to keep people running through my chest because I'm standing up all the time titty blocking like they do at Mississippi State. To just kind of standing in front of people. I wanted to be as big and as heavy as I could be. Not naturally that heavy. So I'm having to go cover punt against Dylan Donahue, who's head hunting, okay, and Mr. All-American punt returner, who is waterbug, jitterbug definition of one. So in my head, I'm thinking, A, don't get killed by Dylan Donahue. Don't get absolutely blown up by this dude. And B, don't get juked and put on your face and end up on SportsCenter for the 2nd time in your career. Not top 10. We will talk about the second one on another date as well. So I snap that ball, and I'm running full speed, full tilt, right down the middle of the field as hard as I can. And I told myself, I'm not going to break down. I'm not going to unzip my feet. I'm just going to run straight. And I'm either going to kill this guy or he's going to run right by me. Okay? But if he runs right by me, I'm just going to run right by him. And that's going to be the end of the rep. It's not going to be bad. It's not going to be nothing. Sure enough, you see me on tape. I am just hard as I can, like I'm running a 40, all 5.6 seconds of it, right? Running as hard as I can. That dude catches that ball. He sees my big butt. He goes, watches me go, took it to the crib. Love it. All right. We were a bad football team in college. Lawson Luckie, good football player. One of 2 tight ends, potentially 3. And guys, think about it this way. Think of Oscar Delp with less flash and more FU. Okay. Less Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon and a little bit more lunch pail. Okay. Not that both, I'm just, you see what I'm saying? Like less looks like he would be the evil character in a High School Musical, and more like he would be the guy that's in Footloose having to learn how to dance. You follow me? Kind of like that vibe with Lawson Luckie versus Oscar Delp. But the play styles, identical. The movement skills, identical. The frame, 6'4", 225, identical. Okay? So here we go. Just gassed. See you. You can't even see him because he's outrunning a bunch of Gwinnett County folk down the sideline. Guys, anytime you see high school football teams developing yards after catch plays for tight ends, that guy should probably play Georgia. Okay? If you are playing tight end out there and you 6'5" or 6'4" plus, and you 225, and you play 6A or up, and they handing you the rock and saying, go on a jet, call Todd. He probably got a job for you. Now, this is what I love about Lawson Luckie, too. And this is what I love about my job. I've seen this guy a bunch. Seen him since he was 15 years old. First time I ever saw him, he was at a Hustle Inc. Tony Ballard quarterback camp. Also met Will Muschamp that day. Shouts out. But he was out there. Looked great. Was moving really, really well. But was just a freshman, rising sophomore at that point. But I'm tracking him through his career. And if you guys look him up on Max Preps today, to this day, I think dude only has like dude only has like maybe 20, 30 career receptions coming into this year. They weren't throwing him the ball a lot. They weren't giving him the rock a lot. What he was doing a ton is being a good teammate, blocking. He was blocking his butt off a ton. End of line blocking, like put the hand in the dirt, really like physical stuff. And it shows up, man. It shows up in his tape like this right here, where he's going to chip number 1. Okay, he's going to get to the outside shoulder of this guy. And then as the safety comes into the picture, he's going to completely clear that guy as well. Okay, boom. Look how violent. That dude's body just went, poof, just jumped right back into the screen and delivered that guy to his other tight end. And then here comes the safety. Watch this. Bam! Okay, blows him up as well. So from the top, okay, go help deliver that block for your teammate, okay, and then go solve one of your own as well. Going to be a day one walk-in elite blocker in space. Going to care about it. Going to emphasize it. Going to check the box consistently. He's also a great playmaker as well. The notes today said, I really don't think Lawson's great at one thing. And he's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. He's not the fastest. He doesn't have the best hands. He isn't the best blocker. He's not the best after the catch. But he just might be as good as everyone else at all of them, right? Landon Thomas is the best example of this in 2024. We're going to say the same exact thing about him next year. But from a blocking standpoint, a run after the catch standpoint, a leadership standpoint, a catching the football standpoint, a blocking standpoint, a route running standpoint, he's as good and on par with just about everybody on that roster. And he's going to effort in the blocking game as well, like we were telling you earlier. Now, this next one is kind of I'm not going to say a head scratcher for me. I don't know what we do with them anymore. Because there's a lot of bodies in the room now. Okay, and this is Pearce Spurlin. Okay, and here's the background on Pearce Spurlin. I saw Pearce Spurlin for the first time when he was a freshman going into his sophomore year. It was February of 2020. We were at the Bubble in Atlanta. Terrence Edwards was working out these 2 real tall, long, white, lanky kids from Walton High School. One of which, Rawson McNeil, we got him a scholarship to Rice. I'm going to say we. It was a collective effort. He's playing at Rice. The other one, yours truly, Pearce Spurlin. And I texted a couple coaches immediately and said, hey, got a new 5-star. I got him. This son of a gun is a 6'5". He's a walking Bambi. He don't know what he's doing yet, but he is put together and can really, really run. Like he is a fluid mover at 6'5", and he's a puppy. He's 14 years old. He's a fawn out here in these streets. Next thing I know, he goes to an MVP camp that I'm at. I film him running a post route against A.J. Brown, who's playing at UAB right now, also one of his former teammates. and he makes a diving catch. Okay, diving catch. I send it to him. He puts it out on Twitter. Next thing you know, offers flooding. Boom, 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 boom. Because you see this big, massive playmaker going out here making plays against guys that you know are good football players. Next thing you know, he spends his junior and senior year down at North Walton in basically 38 down there in Florida. Needless to say, the level of competition from Walton High School to North Walton High School was slightly different. Okay, the quality of football completely different. So there's going to be now a transition period for Pearce that I don't know what to do with, because we're going to have to change some things physically as well. Okay, there's going to have to be some reshaping there as well. This is a 6'7", 235-pound football player. Okay, and he moves really, really, really well for a guy that's that big. But this isn't like your 4'5" run after the catch football player. I had him hand timed even when he was at his skinniest, right? When he was 225 pounds, 227 pounds, I had him at a 4'8" But he is special. He is special with regards to a guy that in a workout setting, in a game tape setting, and for reasons like this, you have to keep the camera on him. You have to run it at all times, because he seems to always make just stupid, crazy plays like this right here. He sticks that with one hand like that, okay? And again, he ain't playing all-stars. I don't think he might have saw one Division I athlete on the opposition, one or two a week for his entire career down there last 2 seasons. But I'm not talking out of my rear here. I went down there and watched a game or two or a game of his. And here's what I say. Look, if you're going to play level of competition like this, you better do what Pearce Spurlin's doing. You better absolutely wipe the floor with him, which is what he did. If you looked at the stats at the top of this highlight clip, I think he had almost 1,500 yards. He was doing stuff like this. He was catching tunnel screens and going 80 yards. So say what you want about the comp. He's dominating the comp. I said the same thing about Brock Vandergrift coming out. Said the same thing about Gunnar Stockton coming out. Said the same thing about all these smaller school kids that guys got questions about coming out of high school. As long as you are absolutely wiping the floor with the inferior comp, then we're good. YouTube's still acting funny. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want to see you win. They're hating on you guys today. All right, those are the tight ends for the day. Really, really good bunch. I think we got Daniel Harris coming up here next. So I think we have jumped into the cornerbacks discussion. Let's go back. Yeah, we have. All right. Let's put a bow on the tight ends class. They're really, really good. Someone, though, has to be Darnell. What do I mean by that? Well, someone's got to be a true Y. We can't all be H's. That's not how 12 personnel teams work. If we're all H's, then we're not a 12 personnel football team. We're an 11 personnel team with a tight end disguised as a slot receiver. Okay. If no one wants to put their hand in the dirt, you can't run your offense. Okay. And if I'm looking at what's coming in and what's leaving, right? Darnell's leaving. Whether or not you want to give Godey a super senior, that's up to y'all. Brett Seether, don't know what's happening there. Okay. Like, the bodies are going to deplete really, really quickly. Brock Bowers got one more year of college football, and guess what? His butt ain't putting his hand in the dirt, guys. It ain't happening. So Darnell's leaving this year. So who and what in the near future is going to be your true game-changing blocking tight end? I know for a fact that the frame and the body tells me this guy we just watched should be it. But that's a tough ask, and here's why. Darnell didn't want to do it. And he's 6'8", 285 pounds. Forever, we heard, you guys heard the rumblings. Oh, Darnell's not happy. So-and-so's not getting the ball. So-and-so's not happy. Why can't I be used like Brock? Why can't I be used like Lawson? Why can't I be used like Landon? Why can't I be used like so-and-so? That's going to get asked. And someone's going to have to say, you know what? God made me 6'7", 235 pounds as an 18-year-old. And by the time I leave college, if I eat right, if I lift right, I could be a bad sumbitch walking at 6'7.5", 250 pounds. And I would play forever in the league. That's a decision worth making if you are, in my opinion. Okay, so there you go. That's what's laid out in front of this tight ends class. Someone's going to have to do the dirty work. Someone's going to have to buy in, and whoever chooses to do that will elongate their career. They will elongate their professional career by quite a bit. Let's watch these defensive backs. They signed 5 of them. I think 5, maybe 6. 2 of them were Wife Scout guys. Okay, Daniel Harris, not one of them. The Wife Scout guys, rather. Okay, Daniel Harris, for those of you watching at home, is a 6'2", 180-ish pound corner. Now, also for those of you at home, let me ask you this. A lot of you guys, I would say probably 95% of you watching this right now would call yourself a Georgia fan. This dude's going to be near 6'3" by the time he gets to college, which is very, very soon. By the time he leaves college, he'll be 6'3". Amir Speed, Keely Ringo at times, Nyland Green at times. We haven't really seen it yet, but there's reports. Those are the last kind of corners that I've seen y'all recruit that are 6'2 plus, almost 6'3". Nyland Green is a really, really tall human being. I don't think people know that. He's like almost 6'3". He's big. He's a big dude. All of those names I just mentioned have a problem turning and running. Keely Ringo got a problem turning and running. He does. You see him get beat, it's in bump and run. And somebody's running past him as he's turning and running. The taller you get, the tighter them hips get, the harder it is to open them and run and turn that gate. It's why Usain Bolt's the only one. It's why Usain Bolt's the only 6'6" sprinter out here in this world. And it's also why they made him run the 400 to start his career. So they found his kick was insane. His last 100 was insane. They made him a 100-meter runner. Okay, so the taller you get, the harder it is. The longer those ligaments are stretched and elongated. I worry about corners this tall coming to Georgia. Georgia's best corners, look it up, 6 foot to 6'1", 185 to 205 pounds. Any taller, any bigger, limitations. Here we go. But I know for also a fact that your defensive backs coach went and saw this young man in person and checked off all these quote-unquote concerns, okay? So he knows he can turn and run. If your defensive backs coach knows he can turn and run to the quality at which he needs, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up. Thought the sophomore tape was slightly better than, the junior tape was slightly better than the senior tape. That could have been a product of opportunity. But this is the clip. This is the clip that made me think he's right here with the ball in the middle of your screen with it back turned to you. This is the clip, and you guys tell me, that made me believe this is what we call a build-up speed guy, okay? By yards 20 through 40, we are the fastest that we are. That's how he can be a 10-900 guy. But from 0 to 20, are we a 10-900 guy? I don't know, because watch. 0 to 20, he looks like a glider to me. And then right about there, right about 5 yards ago, once we really got vertical and stopped having to lean, right here, we kick a gear and we get into 10-9 speed, right? We really build it up and we start walking away from folks there towards the end. But where is the out of the blocks speed, I guess, is my question of this athlete at this point. And again, that is common for athletes who are much more stretched out. Back to the Usain Bolt expression. If you watch those 100 meters, those world records, he was getting beat in the first 10, bad, like by a half a step. He was a builder, right? That 60 through 100, that sun gun was rolling, just like that right there. That's a 60 to 100 guy. So what does that tell me? That tells me if I were Daniel Harris, would probably prefer being in zone coverage. I prefer to be in thirds, right? I want to be able to turn and run with, space in between me, cushion in between me. I don't want to have to turn, bump and run and be in recovery mode. That's not where I would feel comfortable. Even this right here, watch the punt return. There is some speed once we get to the sideline. The initial twitch, don't know. The initial twitch, a little suspect of. But super elite with the ball in the air. Okay, ball skills are top notch. And he is long. Okay, and he is long. All right, move on. Oh, that's Kyron Jones right there anyways. We definitely need to move on. All right, on to Kyron Jones. A little bit about Kyron Jones. This is the NC State commit. I tweeted today about how Georgia's 2023 signing class, shout out to all you guys here. If you're new, just hopped in, we're almost 90 minutes into this live stream. Hit that thumbs up button. Appreciate you for being here. We got quite a bit to go. Okay, we haven't even touched wide receivers. We haven't even gotten into my guys. We still got inside linebackers as well. So we got quite a bit of football to continue to talk tonight. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's make sure as many people see this as possible. Kyron, every once in a while, Georgia, and this has happened, I think, because of Eric Stokes, because of Tyson Campbell, because of somewhat to a lesser extent, Keely Ringo. They are going to find one of these guys every single class. Big, fast, like big, fast. I want as big and as fast. Coach, is he a good football player? Who gives a shit? Don't know. Coach, what's he going to play? Who gives a shit? Bring him in. Kyron Jones is exhibit A of I don't care what he's going to play. He is 6'1". He is 200 pounds. He runs 4.38 and he runs 10.6 in the 100. What else you need to know, Coach? If you can't take that and make him an asset to your football team, then by God, we just don't know what we're doing with super talented football players. We don't. Okay. And that's kind of how they have approached things. Chuck, I was on with Chuck and Chernoff a couple weeks ago, and they asked me, Brooks, is it really as simple as Georgia's just got the fastest players? And in short, the answer is yes, because every year they do this. And people are like, why are they flipping the 3-star for NC State? And the next thing you know, that guy turns out to be just a dude at whatever they need him to be a dude at. And this might just be a special teams headhunter for a couple of years, because I don't know what he is. He's not a corner. He might be a running back. I don't know. It's Kyron Jones. Here he is. He just, guys, to me, it looks like a guy who was told he might need to play corner because of some whatever reason. He's not going to be big enough to be a back in the SEC. I don't know. But even like the tackling clips, not a natural tackler. Head was out of that one, not in it. Not a violent tackler. Not super comfortable in his pedal. Okay. Not super comfortable in his pedal. All of his wins are him just being a good athlete and a good football player. And guess what? That's okay too. If he just comes to Georgia and runs really, really fast on special teams and plays punt hard for 2 or 3 years or 4 years, whatever it may be, you need football players like that as well. Those are not busts, guys. They will never be bust. If he can do this, this strikes me as a guy who's only been playing corner like 18, 19 months, maybe tops. Does not look like someone who's like super well versed and comfortable in it. Again, even his tackling abilities, he looks kind of hesitant. Head's in the wrong place. Head's out over the toes. We don't bring our hips. He looks like an offensive player tackling and playing on defense, and that's okay. Eventually, if you get him great coaching, the natural abilities that God gave him will take over. But this, to me, is what I would do. And I say this over and over and over again about kids. Let them play offense, for the love of God. Let them play offense. Now, to my disdain, I also said this dumb shit about Malachi Starks last year. And look what he's doing. Let him play offense. No. Let him be an All-American in safety. But let this dude play offense, because he is a running back. He's a running back, coach. The running back, y'all. I mean, that's go-go juice. That's the lightning to the thunder that everybody's telling me that you need. This guy's got it. Okay, now there's no knee drive here. He ain't really getting up. But I also know this. We're going to look at this joker here in a minute. And that's Chris Peal. That's them teammates right there. Them teammates. When we see this guy's back in his jersey, it's going to be number 12. That right there is a 10-8 100-meter runner. You signed him because he's fast as AF. So when I turn the tape on of a guy that I got committed, trailing a guy that I got committed to maybe potentially play corner, but don't know if we want to make him play running back. And I also know I don't have a running back in the 2023 class that's got this kind of go-go. Well, we might want to let him play running back, because that dude's got some sauce. All right? That dude's got some juice. He gets Chris Peal twice on that one. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. You got to stay woke when you're out here watching highlight tapes, because you might just find something about somebody else that you might have to recruit or evaluate elsewise. Otherwise, I learned this on a highlight tape of, I was studying offensive lineman from Buford a couple years ago. Studying offensive lineman from Buford. This was the 2022 class, so this was last year. Studying an offensive lineman from Buford, and it was a big, long touchdown. And I see just some absolute piss poor effort on the backside. I mean, just horrid effort on the backside. And I look, sure enough, 5-star. I mean, dude on the backside, 4-star, high 4-star, low 5, whatever it was. Dude was supposed to be a guy. I mean, an absolute guy. Funny money is what that was. Funny money. Turned out 100% true. Guy's already in the portal. 1 year, in and out. See you. But hey, if you can do this, hand on the ground, watch this. Hand on the ground, contact balance, get up, stick the foot in the gas, and take off. Running back, y'all. The running back. Not the running back in the class, but needs to be a running back. Here goes Chris Peal. All right, let's talk about Chris Peal. Now, Chris Peal, another one of these guys, converted running back, playing a lot more corner, though, but it looks a lot more comfortable. The thing that I like about Chris, and the reason I would have signed off on this no matter what, even if I didn't go up there and see him in person, I would have signed off on this take because more so than anybody in this class at the corner position, this dude turns and finds the football as well as anybody. I mean, as well as anybody. AJ Harris aside, AJ's a freak. But this dude turns and finds it really, really well. What do I mean by that? We're in bump and run. We're in man coverage. I've got to turn and run with you, turn my back to the quarterback, and then when the ball's in the air, I turn and find it, right? I can turn, locate, put my eyes on the ball, and then make a play on the football. I think Chris Peal's done a great job through his young career of developing these skill sets, and it's on display in his highlight tape. He's coming up next. Here he is right here. He's right here with his back turned to the quarterback. Now, this guy's trying to run a little hook, a little hitch right here, okay? And as soon as he feels the eyes of the receiver get big, he snaps his head around and makes a play on the football. Boom, right there. Dislodges it and gets it picked off. I think we're in run support here. Corner's cool, but if you're not killing somebody, I don't really care. Another clip of him finding the ball right here. He's the one closest to the pylon at the top of your screen. Okay, they're trying to run a little smash concept on him. His eyes are locked right on the football right here, if you can't see that. He is looking dead at the pill and goes to high points and snatches it down. Pirouettes and all that good stuff. Gets 2 feet down. I mean, it's picture perfect with regards to what you're supposed to look like. Top of your screen again here in run support. Again, I don't really care. Corners, unless you're friggin' just lighting the dude up, just keep it off the highlight film. I'd rather see this stuff right here. Another clip. Again, these are 4 clips of him playing pass defense. Okay, and all 4 clips, head snapped right around. Okay, ball dislodged. How many times on Saturday have you screamed at your television, get your damn head around? I know you have, because you watched Georgia football. Okay, and you guys were a face guarding team for a long time. You don't even know what that means. Stopped on the rock, turned, got his head around, dislodged the football, about picked it off into the running back stuff. Okay. Going to be a good football player. I think it's just going to take some time. I think both those guys we just watched going to take some time. And that's okay. They got time to do so. There's some shuffling that needs to happen before these guys, right? You got Keeley probably leaving this year. Kamari Lassiter going to be back next year. And then you got Dalen Everett, Nyland Green, Jaheim Singletary, and AJ Harris and all these guys that are all battling basically for one spot. The next year it becomes 2 spots, right? It seems like a crowded room, but it's really not. It can get light really, really quickly. So they needed both starting caliber now guys at corner this year, and I think they got one in AJ Harris, who we're going to watch in a little bit. And I think they got some developmental options in this class as well, which are really, really important if you need gap years, which I think is exactly what they need. This next guy, look, I do not want to be disrespectful. I almost don't want to watch it. And here's why. It's Justyn Rhett out of Las Vegas, Bishop Gorman. All I have is 1 minute and 48 seconds of him as a junior playing a position he's not going to play in college. He's playing corner in high school. The footage is grainy. It's way from a distance. I can't really tell what's going on. I don't even know what to evaluate, really, because a lot of it is them throwing away from him. So he doesn't really see much action either. he's moving positions. I don't feel comfortable even evaluating this football player because I don't know shit. I don't know nothing about what I'm looking at in this situation. And I'm man enough to tell you that. I'm 100% man enough to tell you about that. I know nothing about this football player. I know one thing. Georgia's had him in a half a dozen times and worked him out. And they're going to move him to safety. He's a big football player. We'll see what happens. There you go. I don't want to do anything. It's not disrespectful what I just did. There's no point in us taking the time evaluating a guy that's going to be playing a totally different position. And on top of that, the film's not great, right? Not great from a standpoint of we can't see much. Not that he's not performing well. I've made enough. I've said enough. Let's move on. Justyn Rhett, going to be a good football player, going to be playing safety. That's the Film Guy Network nug. All right, guys, we're at that point. Okay, I need everybody stand up. Okay, we do this. Okay, stand up at home. Turner, I know you're sitting in the middle of your living room at your parents' house, and they're like, damn, we raised a loser for a son. Everybody get up, stretch it out. Okay, wave it out. We're an hour and 40 minutes in. Okay, if you got to wake up, if you got that narca sleepy, okay, you got to take one of them pills, pop up, go ahead and do it. Okay, if you got to run out and get your Diet Coke, go do that as well. Come back and holler at your boy. Appreciate you guys being here, man. We are an hour and 36 minutes in to the early National Signing Day Super Show. I don't have anybody to thank, really. We thanked the writers earlier. And for those of you who don't know, I'm 100% self-produced in here. I'm all by myself. We cut the clips by ourselves. We take the notes by ourselves. We do it all, okay? And I love doing it, particularly because of what I started the show with. And I know we got some new audience members here. And I know it's been 90 minutes at this point, but every single one of these kids accomplished a dream today. And I started that today. And we're not sappy here on this network. We don't try to be. But every single one of these kids accomplished a dream that they set a long time ago. They set out to reach a long, long time ago. I find it disingenuous to just say, here's a 20-minute special about my hot takes about this class. I don't think that's fair. I haven't thought that was fair from the jump. A lot of you people have found me from day one with the 2020 signing class. We did a very similar, little quick 90 seconds on each individual kid. And it took a lot of time too. And now we're in this nice fancy studio and the workload has not stopped and it won't stop. And I will continue to do as such as long as you guys continue to support it. So appreciate you for being here. Hey, you want to know what corner tape is supposed to look like? It's this. AJ Harris is maybe a 4.58 runner, maybe 4.6. In fact, I think his track times are plus 11. They got linebackers that are faster on the track at the University of Georgia right now than AJ Harris. But this a dog. This an absolute dog. This an alpha. This is a technician. This is a dude that don't take no shit. This is a guy that is going to walk up into a room full of alphas and say, hey, who's in my seat? Get up. I need that. All right? This is one of them. All right? Don't ask about him. He one of them. Like this right here. Okay, he's in zone drop. I don't know if he's in 2 or 3. Either way, he's pushing vertical with number 2. I think he's in 2, okay? I think he's in 2 because he's got safety help over the top, which means he's going to ride with 1 and sit on 2, all while reading the quarterback's eyes, right? So he sees Q start working this way. He's going to immediately squat, sit on this football, and pick it off. Look at all of the communication going on right now, right? He's going to reroute. He's definitely in cover 2 because he's rerouting with the shoulder square. He's going to reroute number 1, push him off the line, right? Why? So we can help dislodge that timing just a little bit so our safety can eventually get back into the picture. Shouts out 2nd and 26. If you know, you know. All right, so great job there of rerouting number 1, pushing vertical with number 2, all while keeping the eyes on Q and doing a great job of making the play here. Now they're in man coverage, right? So just showed you a zone clip. Now we're going to get in man coverage. What do good teams do on offense, ladies and gentlemen, against man teams? Rubs and meshes. That's right, rubs and meshes. So here we go. They're going to try a little rub route on them, okay? They're going to try a little rub route. A whole bunch of mess, whole bunch of junk right here at the point. Watch AJ completely sort through the trash, stay on the hip, all whilst reading the quarterback's eyes in man coverage, which is a no-no, by the way. You're not really supposed to be doing it, but he knows football. He knows 3rd and 7, ball's got to be out eventually. He squats, gets his eyes on the quarterback, picks it off, and then guess what? We go to make a play. Then guess what? We take it to the crib. Watch it from the top again. He's in man coverage. He's not supposed to be peeking the quarterback. Guys, special football player, Big time play right there. All right, what we got here? I think this is a little run support. I think we finna check all of Brooks's boxes. Yep. They're trying to run screen back here, right? He's already sniffed it, by the way. He's already in the process of shedding this block. So just know that. Screen. There's the running back trying to run screen into the boundary right here. This is designed to beat AJ in this corner into the boundary. Wire! Box check, box check, box check, box check, box check. Okay? All over the tape, all day, every day. Okay? Another one. He's in man coverage right here. He's actually in trail. He's got safety help over the top right there. See how he's playing on the back hip? Now he's going to undercut. Once this ball, he knows his ball's underthrown. He's going to undercut it and hop right in. Pick that ball off too. What we got here? Oh, a little zone drop. Now he's going to drive down into the flat and blow the arrow up. I mean, he just all over the place. He does it all. Okay? He plays run support. He plays zone coverage well. He plays man coverage well. By God, if you're a stack and screen team, he's going to blow that shit up too and pick it off. Sunday guy. And here's the other thing that I love about AJ. I think this is the last clip of him that we're going to watch. The last clip right here, very similar, stuck like glue on a comeback route. Dislodges the ball and gets it popped back up, almost picked off for his teammate. This is him on a sack, actually. Violent. Here's the thing that I love most about AJ. Okay, and that's Joenel Aguero, who is an absolute dude. So we're going to watch him in a second. Here's the thing I love about AJ. Oftentimes, when you're this good at high school football, or at football in general, and you're playing at a lower level like high school. Okay, he's a Saturday college football player disguised as a senior in high school. That's what he was last year and the year before that. When you're that good, and teams only attack you maybe 3 or 4 times a game, it can become really, really easy to become disengaged, right? Where you're not really paying attention, you're not giving full effort, you're not keyed in, you're not doing the things that you're supposed to do to lead to results in the moments in which they actually do attack you. Every single one of those highlight clips, I watched a football game of AJ Harris's this year against IMG Academy, a team that's got the best quarterback and the best receiver that they played all year, okay? They attacked him twice all game, and he made a play both times. They refused to go at him the rest of the football game. So what that means is when you just watched, there's 5 minutes of highlights over there on that senior tape. Those 5 minutes, those were the only 3 or 4 times all game that the team even sniffed AJ Harris's portion of the field. And he made a highlight out of it. Special player. On to the next one. Another special player here. Love this tape, dude. I put in the notes, this is 90% of Caleb Downs. I love Caleb Downs too, guys. I wanted Caleb Downs to go to the University of Georgia so I can cover him. He's a tremendous, not only athlete, but human being. It's a great kid. He's awesome. Would have loved to have covered him in college. He's going to Alabama. This dude's really good too. This dude's a really, really good football player. I turned the tape on of this kid his sophomore year. I was watching his freshman tape. And boy, you talking about a nose for the football. This dude's got a sticky nose for the football now. This dude has like the ability to move first out of everybody, okay? And now he's 6'1", 205 pounds, built like a brick shithouse and just destroys souls. I mean, takes lives from limb in the middle of the game, okay? That's what you're about to watch, all right? And does it in a very, very smooth and methodical way. As much as we're going to rave about his ability to hit people today, notice that Joenel Aguero is always the first to move. That's invaluable. Let's take a look. You're going to know. They don't have to circle him. You're going to know. You're going to know. I mean, you're going to know, son. You're going to know every single time where this dude's at because he's going to do shit like this. Woo! Okay, now he's playing a wide out. Watch the movement skills. Look how smooth of an athlete he is. Look at the knee drive, okay? Look at the ability to accelerate quickly. All these good things. Watch the start and stop abilities. All that we can see from a ball carrying perspective. Another absolute unit of a hit stick. I mean, Not even finishing through. Not even driving through. None of that. He's just straight up hitting folk. Just straight up hitting folk. And if you notice, again, what I love most, I mean, the hit's great and the hit's clean. But what you'll notice is he's always the first to move. You see, he's not in your screen, but before the ball's released, he pops into your screen. He's keying. He's moving now, right? He's not just the fastest on the field. He's not just the strongest on the field. He's not just the best athlete. He moves first. He's thinking first. Okay? Again, invaluable skills. Invaluable skills for a position at safety that's a lot about cleaning up the mistakes of those in front of you. If I were to say there's one thing he is better at than Caleb Downs, y'all notice that Caleb Downs did a lot of running back playing for Mill Creek, didn't do a ton of like go play X receiver, go play Z receiver, go dunk on somebody. It was, hey, catch a bubble, hey, catch a slant, hey, catch a comeback, that kind of stuff. Not a flawless ball skill eval is Caleb Downs. Joenel Aguero is a pretty flawless ball skill eval. Pretty flawless. He makes plays on the ball consistently. And when he gets it in his hands, he's going to score. Here's a clip of him just lighting another dude up. Just no hesitation in the game, dude. No hesitation in this dude's game. Yeah, we're seeing some comments in here about Aguero's comp. He has played relatively good comp. This Massachusetts football, I'm not so keen on, but he did play IMG for 2 years. So must be a good football player, right? Also very accustomed to playing good football players. This is Anthony Evans, so we can get off of this. All right, last thing. Let's put a bow on who we were just watching. Joenel Aguero. Guys, that's a big kid, okay? Little YouTube film guy nug for you here. That dude was as heavy as like 214 pounds at visits that I had numbers on, okay? That's a big boy. He's a really big kid. You're going to have to watch his food intake when he gets to college. I get real nervous when I hear about guys having problems keeping weight off in high school. Because if you can't keep weight off when you're 17, you're damn sure not going to keep weight off when you're 21. Damn sure not keeping weight off when you're 21. The thing that I love about Georgia, though, is the inverse of this. They run the piss out of everybody. It's almost impossible not to lose weight at the University of Georgia. Unless you're the coaching staff, then you're eating Longhorns all the time. Let's get on to the next one. Anthony Evans. Let's talk about this before. First of all, your offensive coordinator, as long as he is here, as long as Todd Monken is at the University of Georgia, you will sign one of these. Okay, you will. You'll sign an Arian Smith, okay, in 2020. You'll sign a Ladd McConkey in 2021. You'll sign a CJ Smith in 2022. Okay, you'll sign an Anthony Evans in 2024 or 2023. You'll sign a Nikar in 2024. What do all of these guys have in common? Ultra burners. I mean, ultra burners. Some of them more than others. The other thing that they all have in common, way smaller than everybody else in the receiver corps. Almost all of them. So let's go through the list again. Arian Smith, constantly banged up. CJ Smith, constantly has been banged up throughout high school and is throughout college to date. Okay. If Ladd McConkey weren't a tough SOB, that dude's constantly banged up, but he's constantly playing. All right. Moral of the story, they're always going to try to get one of these guys. This guy is always going to have to play through pain. This guy's always going to have to play through injury. Deshaun Jackson, look at the game logs. A year where he plays 7 games. A year where he sneaks in 16, has a career high with Todd Monken. The next year only plays 13 games. The next year only plays 9. The next year comes back, plays 14 games, right? It's hard to stay healthy in a sport where everyone else is so much bigger than you and they're trying to kill you. All right. So when I'm evaluating guys like this, that I know for a fact Todd Monken is going to take, his eyes light up when he sees football players like this. He thinks of the year where he almost won Offensive Coordinator of the Year in the NFL because he made Jameis Winston throw for almost 5,000 yards. And Deshaun Jackson had so many yards, right? His mouth waters thinking about these things. So he's going to constantly take them. This one, Anthony Evans, more so than all those players I named, not named Ladd, just might be the closest thing to a football player, not a track guy. I worried out of high school. Is Arian Smith a track guy? The first 18 months, we had to worry about whether or not he was running track in the spring, or whether or not he was going to play football in the spring. CJ Smith, right? This football player. This is a football player. Watch him. This dude attacks the ball in the air. This dude put blocking clips on his highlights because he knew people would have questions. All right? He knew people would have questions. This guy was so damn close to being a my guy. I mean, so close. And you'll see what it is. It's hitches and goes. Okay? It's slow down, speed up. It's, oh, I'm not going nowhere. Yes, I am. I'm 9 yards past you. That's what it is. All right? That's what it's always going to be with these guys, particularly when they're 10, 300-meter guys. But to me, this stuff is the most important, okay? This stuff right here, not this one. Sorry, the next clip. Tough catches, physical catches. When you're not just by yourself, when we have to attack the ball, right? When we got bodies around us and we have to stop, we have to slow down, we have to readjust, right? And we have to attack the ball in the air. Can you come down with that ball, okay? I know we can run goes. I know that. I know we can stop on a dime. I know we can give you jets. I know we can do all this good stuff. But when the ball's in the air and you are, giving up 10 inches or, 2 inches to the guy above you, can we make a play? I don't know why this made the cut into the highlight clip. It's a goofy play. Should have just let it run, Brooks. We're having a good go at things. Here we go. There he is there in the slot. I can't remember what exactly this play is, but I think it's a little bit more physicality. No, double move. Oh, yeah, go high point the football. Come down with it in traffic. That's a good clip. Now here's the blocking stuff, okay? Down at the bottom of your screen right here. Looks a little bit like a little George Pickens-esque, huh? At 5'11", 160 pounds. How you doing? I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to this either. Again, football player, your teammate just caught this ball. Okay, you are ahead of everybody. What are you going to do? Are you going to turn around and add in? Are we going to become a football player? I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing guys, okay, we're at the top of the screen right now, standing by the 30, okay, at the numbers. Okay, oh, crap, quarterback scrambling. I got to lock on and latch and drive my guy to the sideline. Little bitty things, right? But they at least confirm to me that there is a willingness and an effort to do so, okay? Because, again, you come to this program or you come to a program like Georgia, they're going to ask your butt to block, okay? They're going to ask you to key in and pay attention to those types of things and care about them and do so much or do so as if you do care about them. Close, super close to my guy. I just don't know if I'll ever make one of these guys my guy because I don't know if I can trust the longevity. I really, really don't. And that's okay. Because for every one of these guys that, gets hurt or whatever, there's a Tutu Atwell from Louisville that Georgia probably should have signed out of high school. I think he was a state kid. Probably should have signed that kid. He was a second-round draft pick in the NFL because he went to Louisville and had 1,000-some-odd yards just running around and being super athletic and fast. We'll see. We'll see if this develops into that. Never truly know, though, right? Never truly know. Not even me. All right, on to the next one. Raymond Cottrell. I like this guy. I am highly, highly critical of ball carriers or athletes in general who don't have a high knee drive. Okay, if I see you running and your knee only gets to about 45 degrees up past your hip bone, right? You got tight hips. I'm not into it. I'm not into tight-hipped athletes. That's not what we want. We want loose-hipped athletes. This is a loose-hipped athlete. He runs like a horse. I mean, look at this. This dude's got a stride on him. He's about to run a slant right here at the top of your screen, okay? And he's going to take this one 65 in Florida. This is what we call sliding, folks. This dude is sliding on these people in Florida, okay? Some of these clips are straight up yak monsters. Before I put another clip up here, I want you to have this in your mind. Imagine if Kyrus Jackson were 6'2.5", 205 pounds. Everybody got that picture of Kearis Jackson in the Sugar Bowl catching a tunnel screen and running down the sideline? Everybody got that picture of Kearis Jackson against Sanford catching a tunnel screen and running down the sideline? Everybody got it. Everybody got that picture of 10 with high knees, being physical as shit with the ball in his hands after the catch? Everybody got that picture? All right, here we go. Now watch Raymond, because this is what it is. This is a 6'2.5" Kearis Jackson, okay? He runs just like him. Look at that knee drive. He is sliding on folks. I have always thought Kearis is one of, if not the best on the roster with the ball in his hands after the catch. This is the new best, or could be the new best, because he can do stuff like this. I mean, just pulling off on folks. Again, Florida football, he ain't running away from North Georgia folks, okay? He ain't in Rabun County doing this, all right? This is Florida. Good tough hands too. I think he's a dog. I think he's got some alpha in him. I think he's got some FU in him. I think he's got some don't talk no shit around Raymond in him. Just watching him on tape, I think he's got some violence in his football game, and I'm here for that as a receiver. I think George Pickens has got violence in his football game, and how's that work out for him? This is what I'm talking about with Kearis, though, or the comp to Kearis, the ability to make people miss and pull off on folks with that high knee drive. He looks like Kearis Jackson to me. I'll keep hammering home that player comp. All right, Troy Bowles. Don't get there too fast now. Don't get there too fast now.
All right, what is?
Oh, that's the interview. We didn't want to add that. All right, so none of the linebackers qualified for my guys because one of them, Raylen, too good. Just too good to take credit for. I wanted to put CJ in there so bad. But the ROI on that's a couple years down the road, right? There's a lot of bodies in that linebacker room right now. There's going to be even more in coming years. So to be my guy, you had to be in this position like a Jamon Dumas-Johnson, like the third, like a Troy Bowles is the third highest ranked linebacker of these three, in my opinion. In 2021, that class, that was Jamon Dumas-Johnson, and I watched it and said that dude's going to play very, very early because he's big enough, he's fast enough, he's physical enough, and he's damn sure smart enough and instinctually gifted enough to do so. When I watch these three linebackers, I see a Raylen Wilson, who's a Sunday guy. I see a CJ Allen, who is the definition of a Mike linebacker, but it's going to have to wait. And then Troy, who we're about to watch, I don't know what to do with him. I don't. There's a lot of this going on now. Jalen Walker, I don't know what to do with him. Xavier Sori, I don't know. I don't know what to do with Xavier Sori. What do I do? Do I just stand him up and make him rush? Well, no, because teams will just do to us what teams do to LSU and Harold Perkins when they make him try to rush. Do I just play him in the box? Well, he's not comfortable playing in the box. So what do I do with him? Long story short, Georgia's going to have a couple of these on the roster moving forward that they better find something to do with. And with this one, I would let him play in space because he makes a shit ton of plays on the football, and you'll see it off rip right here. Troy Bowles, son of Todd Bowles, obviously, as you know. And my God, does he hit people. Holy hell, does he hit people. Mostly clean. It's about 60% clean. The ability to make a play on the football as well is, his ball skills are exceptional for a defensive football player. You think defensive football player, particularly a linebacker, you think a striker, you think of somebody who's in the box. No, not this dude. This dude plays outside the box, he pursues, and he strikes. Good God almighty, it looks like a car wreck. It looks like an 18-wheeler ran a red light at the damn intersection and hit an old lady crossing the street. Look at this. This is stupid. Watch the result of what happens. Watch the carnage at the point. Boom. Pursue. Unleash the energy we have created. Here he is. Done a lot of this. Playing the overhang, I think he played mostly safety this year, but super instinctual. Okay. Always going to move first. Always going to make a play on the football. He's coach's son, not just a coach's son. He's an NFL coach's son. This is a guy who's been classically trained as classically trained can come. But there is going to be a transition period from both a competition standpoint and a, hey, we're now asking you to stand inside the box and put your hands on your knees and read guards in front of you, shed blocks, all that good stuff. Can he do it? I'm sure he'll be fine. I think this is another pursuit play. They throw the ball out of the flat. Yep. You get guys like this on your football team, you figure it out. Okay. Guys with this pedigree, guys with this football brain, guys with this effort, guys with these kind of skills. Yep. You bring them home. You figure it out. I think we got this is CJ Allen up next. Story time. CJ Allen, probably my favorite. So buckle up, sit up in your chair. This is a good story about a good young man. So every year around this time, right, we're watching a bunch of high school highlight tapes. When I'm talking about we, I'm talking about me. Okay, I'm trying to get as many kids as I can to school. I'm trying to get as many kids as I can attention from schools. I'm trying to help as many kids as I can via social media, clean up their clips, do all this good stuff. So CJ was a freshman, had just finished up his freshman year at in high school. And I'd put out something about, high school kids. It's that time of the year where you're making your high school highlight tapes, drop them, let me see them, like everybody else does. And next thing I know, CJ not only is in the comments after his freshman year, but he hops in my direct messages with like an open-ended question of, Coach, will you watch my tape? Is there anything that we can do to kind of make it better? I'm like, this kid's how old? I'm smiling through the phone. I'm like, this is next level stuff. This guy wants to know, hey, Coach, will you look at it? Let me know how it can get better and what we need to do. So I go through, and I'm looking through the direct messages, and I'm giving him like, suggestions. Take clip at, the tackle at clip 2 minutes, move it up to the front. That's a great play. Let's see some more zone coverage drops. There's too many plays of you in the box and run support. College coaches want to know if you can cover. All this good stuff. So we're giving him these tips. He's just a 14-year-old freshman. And at the end of it, he goes, thank you so much, Coach. I'm going to fix all these things now. And so about 2 years later, he's a junior, and he releases a top 3. And, of course, Georgia's in it. And at this point, I'd already been covering him, but hadn't been bothering him through direct messages. And I just kind of sent him a message and said, man, like, you come a long way. You come a long way from asking, hey, here's my freshman tape. Can I get some help with what the order should be and some tips on how to become a better football player to that's a top 75 player on the 24/7 composite that we're about to watch. This is a guy who's going to the University of Georgia. And when he was 14 years old, he was in direct messages asking, what do I need to do to get to Georgia? So what kind of human being you just got today, guys? Again, it's not just big, tall, fast, can run and tackle. That's not what it's all about. Sometimes it's about that dude is all of those things, and he's going to change our organization for the better because he's a plus character trait eval. Okay. And to be frank with you, of all of the linebackers that they've signed in the last 2 or 3 classes, this dude might have the most Mike traits of them all. 6'1", 225 pounds, elite spatial awareness in the box, real thick build, built like a barrel chest. Okay, from the tits down to his kneecaps, that's where he covers about 65% of his weight. He is real thick. Okay, from the shoulder pads to the kneecap, that's where he covers most of his weight. It's hold right there. You know who else is like that? N'Kobe Dean. You know who else is like that? Roquan Smith. You know who else is like that? Ray Lewis. Okay, all these guys are thick-bodied, barrel-chested mofos right in the middle. They carry all that weight right there, and they can run like deer, like this dude right here. I think we get 2 looks at this clip. We do. Here's what I love. Here's what I love about CJ. Okay, a lot of kids, when they're getting stretch zone this way, they will over-pursue. Okay, they will turn their shoulders, they will run, and they will ultimately get cut back by this running back. But if you watch CJ right here, okay, and if you watch what he's doing, he's gearing down. He's remaining flat. and he's scraping with his shoulder square. Look at that. He closes the space and boom, he's right there, hat on the ball when the running back ultimately bounces back. These are what I would call linebacker instincts. No different than people talk about running backs with great vision. Linebackers have great vision as well. They can find and shut down holes at a much higher rate than everybody else. Bro, if you one of them folks, Georgia just had a basketball player hit the portal. If you're one of them folks that's going to watch this from start to finish, bro, y'all some elite human beings. Y'all are almost as elite as a human being that would stand up and do 30 evals in one sitting. Elite. What did we see here? Why is it on the tape? Let's go back. Dadgummit. All right, what we've learned is moving forward, we are not repeating clips. We're just moving because we still got my guys to hit, and this is getting a little redonk. Okay? A little redonk on your end there, YouTube. All right, let's just let it roll. I think we're coming up on Raylen Wilson clips pretty soon. Here he is right here in the box. That's the mic. Watch him. His knows when to gear down, when to speed up, when to play with pace, when to not, when to pursue the back hip, when to hop in front. Look at him scraping with his shoulder square. It's perfection, man. It's like how they teach you to play the position. When they do all the little bag work drills, they make you keep your shoulder square. They make you kind of click your feet, right? And make you kind of, skip, if you will, with your shoulder square, and then strike once you arrive. Now, I'm not saying Jeff Sintel's the best evaluator in the world, but Jeff's the only buddy of mine that got to see CJ this year in person, and he stands by him. He swears by him. So Jeff, again, Uncle Jeff don't know all of the football in the world, but he sees a lot of football, and he's seen a lot of football. Don't know if he could diagnose the difference between like a skip pull and a traditional pull, but you don't necessarily need to know what a good football player looks like. And he's signing off on CJ Allen, so I'll sign off on CJ Allen. There you go. Raylen Wilson, the fastest human being to ever play at the University of Georgia at the linebacker position. He is blowing through A-gap right here at full speed, full tilt as soon as the ball is snapped. Now, the great part about that is he's getting jet motion. Okay, he's getting what looks like jet on the goal line. They look like they're about to run jet sweep right here. But the quarterback keeps the football. And what I want you to watch is number 3, as he bursts through the hole, how he doesn't even for a lick, and not even a second, fall for this jet sweep. He's immediately cued in on the quarterback. There he is right there. Boom, popping into the hole, finishing with violence. 23 miles per hour on the catapult, and you're going to see it right here. 23 miles per hour on the catapult. What does that mean? That means he is faster than any data ever tracked at the University of Georgia for Keely Ringo. He is faster than any GPS data tracked ever for Chris Smith. He is fast, all of them. I haven't seen I think Arian Smith's the only one I've seen 23. Okay, I think Keely Ringo's highest like 22.7, maybe 22.9. Okay, linebacker, folks, an absolute burner, an absolute toaster oven of a football player out there, can find it and get it from everywhere. Look at this. And you talk to this dude's football coaches from Lincoln High School, and they've seen some good ball players now. You talk to this dude's football coaches, and you will hear nothing but how great of a leader this dude is. How he is a lead by example guy, not by a mouth guy. Okay, he is a lead by this type of football play guy, right? Play the run, sink into my zone drop, turn and run, find my threat, right? Go to tackle him. As soon as I get there, we're going to attack the football and rip it out. That's an elite football play, left and right. Here he is. I think he's in the middle of this scrum. Okay, he's going to shed this block, pursue the ball carrier, arrive with violence. Love this end zone clip right here from the drone. Okay, there he is, shedding the block. Just threw that guard down. Now he's going to close this space right here. He's going to close from here, there's the ball carrier, to there in a matter of like that. I mean, it's going to be a blink of an eye right here. You're not even going to see it happen. Boom. Oh, punt return. I think our footage got a little wonky right there. Yeah, he returns punts for touchdowns too. The first true combination of a guy that's built like a Mike but runs like a Willie. The hell does Brooks mean by that? Here's what I mean by that. So who have been the Willies in years past, right? It's been Quay Walker. It's been Channing Tindall. It's been Jalen Walker. It's been Smile Mondon, right? Those have been the Willies, the guys that leave the box when teams go empty, or the guys that leave the box when teams go by three by one and have to flex, right? Got to flex that Willie backer. This dude doesn't look like Smile Mondon, 6'3", 225. This dude doesn't look like Quay Walker, 6'4", 240, whatever Quay is. These big, long, tall guys, Jalen Walker, don't look like that. But he is a better athlete than all of those guys at 6'1", 230 pounds. So he's built like a Mike, but moves like a Willie. So what do you do with him? What I would do with him is let this dude cover because he's also a strap. So I would let him play Willie tendencies, even though he's built like a Mike. Something that would probably make you feel uncomfortable if you were a Glenn Schumann and haven't had a 6'1" guy play Willie in quite a long time. If the class of 2023 had to play tomorrow, CJ Allen would be my Nakobe Dean. I forgot to put those clips on there. I forgot to share the film. Man, you guys, not a single guy in the comments? Not even sharing the film, bro. That's why I went to go hit the space bar. Let's go run back. There's the punt return. Okay, so let's go after that clip. Here we go. He's right there. You see him? Okay, he's going to get attacked by the center. Okay, now he's going to shed that block, run the ball carrier down, get a tackle. Now he's not going to buy the play fake at all. He's going to sniff this out. Again, I think I was at this game. I think this is third and goal. Okay, he doesn't even once bite the play fake. He's immediately at the quarterback's hip. After him, sack. And here's the pursuit. A freaky, freaky pursuit player. All right, so back to the Willie and the Mike discussion. Okay, before we get into my guys. We got 5 guys left, guys. 5 guys left, and we're almost done. If this class were last year's linebacking unit, right, Nakobe Dean would be pseudo CJ Allen. Okay, Quay Walker would be, let's call it Troy Bowles. Okay, that's 6'2" plus, 6'4" plus. They really don't have a Quay Walker. Channing Tindall would be the equate version of Raylen Wilson. Channing Tindall is what Raylen Wilson is now when Channing left. That's how good that football player is. I had director of player personnel tell me that if quarterbacks didn't exist, that would be the best player in America. So there you go. That's what Georgia thinks about him too. They thought he was a must-have, like cannot miss. If we miss on this guy, throw the whole class away. That's kind of the way they felt. All right, my guy, numero uno, my guy, Jamal Meriweather, has not signed yet. Don't think it's a problem. Think it's going to be okay. There's some things getting handled out right now. Okay, but here's what I want you to know about Jamal. He's 6'7". He's 290 pounds, and he's got some of the lightest damn feet that I have evaluated in the 2023 class. Okay? My guy has to be. Absolutely has to be. Because every time I look at it, it flashes for me. Every time I see him stick a foot in the ground, okay, it flashes for me. Every time I see him in space running around, it flashes for me. Every time I see him on a down block, he's 9 yards downfield and he's putting people on his butt. It might look like a combination block. And then, oh crap, you get the tight here and you notice that the guard really ain't doing shit. The guard has nothing to do with this pancake. He's just along for the ride. In fact, he might be making it worse. That's the guard right there. Our boy right here is pushing this all the way to the left by himself. He's going to end up on top of that. Straight buried. Okay, straight buried. And what I love about this dude, he got a little attitude to him too. He got a little F you to him as an offensive lineman, and I love me some of that. Gonna go find him some ribs right here. Just absolute full slab. I know you can't quite see that, but he is a free guy and just goes down inside and just rips the rib cage apart of that one dude. He's going to dig out this guy back here on the backside. It's a nothing clip for me. We're going to move forward. Jamal Meriweather, formerly committed to UCF. And I'll tell you the story here in just a second after we finish watching the clips. I love the potential for this dude to be playing in a counter system where he can get out and use that athleticism that I rave about. I love the opportunity for this guy to really develop a kick slide. Guys, look at the pad level. Look how low his flat his back is. Okay, look at him gather and swallow up this slanter across his face and completely work him clear across the screen. Okay, if you guys can't tell by now, I'm an effort and intangibles guy when it comes to offensive linemen. Every guy that Georgia recruits, I'm going to tell you right now, and that's Jordan Hall, my guy number 2. I'm going to tell you right now, every single offensive lineman that Georgia recruits is big. Every single offensive lineman that Georgia recruits is talented. Not every single offensive lineman that Georgia recruits is an efforter. They're not. Xavier Truss is not the most talented offensive lineman in that room. He's gotten the ability to play over the last 3 years because he's an efforter. He cares. He works hard. He practices hard. He plays hard. All those things matter. They dictate whether or not you're going to get on the field. And when I see you as a high school senior blocking through the echo of the whistle, chasing pancakes, doing those things on a consistent basis, I sign off on you. You become a my guy really, really quickly. My guy number 2, Jordan Hall. And this is because, holy shit, look at the waist, look at the hips, look at the butt, look at the tiny ass ankles. I mean, guys, we are thick as can be here in the middle. And then our ankles are like sticks. We are like rail thin at the feet. What does that mean? That means fleet. That means fleet. Athlete. And I love athletes that play with this kind of pad level, okay, on a consistent basis. I'm going to show you a clip here in a second. He looks like he's in a full lunge coming through the line of scrimmage. A full lunge. This one right here. A full lunge coming through the line of scrimmage. Look how low he is. Look at everybody else on the field. Look at his pad level. That's where he's at. Okay, Buddy is all the way up here. 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 We are rising, coming this way. We are out of our stance, shot like a cannon, going like that. Just like our stock report. Just like that. I mean, absolutely shooting out of the blocks, escalating and with our pad level, rising through the zone and striking once we get there. I think he is an exceptional, what was I about to say? I don't even know what I was going to say. Exceptionally raw prospect. But one thing I know about this dude, he loves football. I was told this is the Caleb Downs of defensive line play. That was the quote I was given. The Caleb Downs of defensive line play. This dude cares about it. He efforts at it. He works at it. Okay, and he's dying to win. He comes from a really, really rough football background where they did not win a bunch of football games. Okay, but he played really, really hard. Okay, for 4 quarters. So those things matter to me. We checking boxes. Okay, we are checking boxes, and the film is awful and it's grainy. Just trust me on this eval. I saw a clip of him in a spring game where he it was a non-contact jersey opportunity on the quarterback, right? And homeboy turns, runs, and chases a tunnel screen down 45 yards down the field, makes a tackle. And the running back that caught the running back that caught the bubble actually, like stopped and went to go cut back and saw him, and from the end zone or from the skybox, you could tell he pitched down his leg. I mean, you could absolutely tell he had a friggin' heart attack seeing that monster run him down. Jordan Hall apparently just committed, so there you go. Oh. That's on me. We're going to act like that didn't happen. It projected. It projected. That's awkward. Yazeed Haynes, Pennsylvania. You talking about a daggum eval right here. I don't know if y'all know, but that's the bubble in Atlanta. I'm there all off season. We'll be there all off season again. I had this footage sent to me in like March of last year. And I got a phone call from Quay, who is the guy who's route master. He runs this with Oliver Davis, they're Oliver's DBs. They're all elite. They're all Power 5 or mid-major quality defensive backs. And then Quay brings all his guys from Metro Atlanta, and they just have some one-on-ones every Friday in the offseason. It is absolutely mayhem. It's one of the best environments, competitive environments that you can be in if you're a cornerback or a wide receiver. And Yazeed comes down from Pennsylvania, and Quay calls me after, and he says, dude, I have not seen anything like this guy. And I said, what you mean? He said, there's this kid. I think his name's Yazeed. He came down here and just cooked everybody. I mean, just ran by absolutely everybody. So much so that Oliver waited until after the workout and then put his cleats on and tried to go get some work with them, because Oliver only gets work against the best. So Oliver only wants to train against NFL receivers when they're in town. Otherwise, he's just doing indie drills. The only time he'll get in there and do one-on-ones is he feels like he's going to be tested. So he hopped in there with this guy. And Oliver's not like an NFL football player, but he's as technically sound as they come. He's the best defensive backs coach that there probably is, and from a trainer's perspective. So he gets out there and just flat getting cooked by Yazeed too. So we're not going to see that footage. But this is the footage from the bubble that night. And 2 months later, Georgia offered this football player. 3 months later, Georgia committed this football player. The ease with which he can get behind defenses is really, really exceptional. Is really, really exceptional. I feel like an idiot for doing what I just did. Never done that in my career. I meant to take the notes out if he didn't. It's a great adjustment right there to that ball. Did y'all see that? That ball's thrown outside of his frame. Quarterback thinks we're throwing a back shoulder, even though he's on top, okay, and adjusts to the football really, really well and pulls that ball down. Does a great job stacking receivers as well. As you see, as he gains ground on the outside, he'll jump back inside. This time's an inside release. Watch him work back outside of this corner and stack him again. Here's some actual game footage, and you'll see the stuff that you see in the bubble applies on Saturday or Fridays as well. He's really, really good job of getting behind people, and he's got great ball skills as well as a one-hand stick right there. Seeing a comment right here said he reminds me of AD in a way. He reminds me of AD in a way in which that they found a 3-star that apparently nobody else knew about. I don't know who his comp to me is. He looks to me more like an Ohio State receiver that we've been watching all week or all offseason or all month leading up. He looks like one of those guys. Real rail thin. He looks more like Garrett Wilson or Jameson Williams, or, the number 10 they got out there right now, whoever that guy's name is. Basically everybody but Jackson Smith and Jigba and Chris Olave that's ever really came out of it. Actually, he really is kind of like a Chris Olave type too. Real thin burner. Absolute burner. This right here sent me. Okay, I don't know about y'all, but when I look for game-breaking speed, I look for stuff like this, okay? You are already at the hash, which means the sideline is just over here, guys. The sideline is just over here. We're not far from it. There's the bottom of the numbers, right? So there's not a lot of space for us to beat this guy to the angle that he's basically flat and perpendicular to. You'll see Tyreek Hill do this a lot, where he'll run, press, and then you're like, holy hell, that guy's going to run him out of bounds. And then all of a sudden, he just gets right up the sideline. Here, watch what I'm talking about. Watch how it looks like there's no way. There's no way. And then all of a sudden, he beats the angles down the sideline. My guy, Yazeed Haynes. And Quay, if you're watching right now, I'm sorry. Next time you call me, I will immediately tell the world that we have found another guy. All right? Another my guy. How about 2 wide receivers in the my guy pool today? Why is Tyler Williams a my guy? Let's talk about it. Okay. Tyler Williams is a my guy because, first of all, he's 6'4", 6'3 3/4, 6'4", super long arms, really, really fast, high-end guy, played at high-quality football at Lakeland High School, practiced against really, really good corners every single day, and Camarnie McLean and all those guys down there at Lakeland. Super high character in terms of a competitive character standpoint, wants to be great, all these good stuff. The reason I have him as my guy is because he's physically gifted, but most importantly, more than all of these football players, I think he, maybe aside from Monroe, who we saw earlier tonight, but he escalated his game to a point that I was impressed with, right? Like a lot of high school, particular receivers, they're just great because they're great. They're great because they're faster than the other guy. They're great because they're bigger than the other guy. They're great because God made them great. The ones that go from being great in high school to great in college are the ones that pay attention to the details, the finer things in football. And Tyler did that the 3 years I evaluated him. His sophomore year, big, tall, fast. Junior year, big, tall, fast to a point, developed a little bit more of a route running ability, right? I turned the senior tape on, and dude is like doing everything you're supposed to, pressing the outside hip of a guy, right? Really, really driving this way, okay? And then sinking and drop. Look at him dropping the hips as he goes to run this square in. I mean, the subtleties of route running that create the little amount of space that he needs at 6'4" are what it requires to create separation on Saturdays when we're playing the X position. You can't see it here on this, elongated comeback right here on the goal line, but he stems this corner inside on 3rd and 9 right here. Like there are little bitty things about the wide receiver position that sometimes get overlooked. Sometimes guys will not pay attention to, like that head stick at the top of that break on that square end, or like this right here, this next clip, watch him down on your bottom, watch him really push the leverage inside and then snap it back out. It created the yard of separation right there that they needed on the goal line. Like all of these things, okay, and the ability to take the top off the defense, okay, and really beat somebody on a go ball. All of these things are portions of the offense that are missing for Georgia right now, okay? Georgia's ability to say, downset, hut, my X receiver is going to win, it's non-existent. They don't have it. It's not something in the playbook. They've got to design play actions to get, deep overs mixed in. They've got to design play action to get double moves for Lad McConkey to get an explosive. They've got to hope on 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 8 when they go 3-by-1 that Marcus Rosemi-Jackson catches a back shoulder fade. They have to do all of these things to hope that they can remain efficient on 3rd and long. Well, it's all because they don't have an X receiver. This dude is doing things, right? We saw him take a slant, and we saw him take a dig, and we saw him go deep, and we saw him here in a second. We're going to see him take a wildcat for 70, and we're going to see him take a tunnel screen for 65, and like all of these things start to add up, and you're like, hey, that guy's got qualities that are needed to play the X receiver position in the SEC, and that's exactly what Georgia needs. There he is right there running another comeback. I mean, he snapped that thing off and sinks them hips really, really quickly. Hey, go win a slant. Again, right here. This is X receiver stuff coming up on this next clip, okay? We need you. We need you to go beat that guy. Press man coverage, South Florida football. We need you to go win a slant right now. We got to go get it. Go create some separation. Check it out. Boom. Be physical. If you got to. You're big. God made you big. Let's go be big. He plays big. Here's that 70, 65-yard run. Okay, he's sliding. He got some speed. Okay, and early reports are that this translates. Okay, he is out there sliding on folks in SEC football. Last one of the night, guys. Are y'all ready? I can't believe it. I cannot believe this football player made the my guys. I'm flabbergasted. Roderick Robinson. Look, I'm just like you guys. I prefer Reuben Owens to Roger Robinson. Okay. I prefer Kenny McIntosh to a Kendall Milton. I prefer James Cook to a Zamir White. I prefer a Brian Harrion to an Elijah Holyfield. I do. I prefer an Alvin Kamara over even like an Adrian Peterson. I find it more fun. I find I can do more things. I find that there are, different things for me to be able to do. But I also think that there is still room in this game of football for, holy shit, that dude is big. No, I don't want to tackle him. And, he's only going to get faster? What? He actually does have a little bit of juice in him? He actually can pull off on folks? So Roderick, like a lot of guys that are committed to schools like the University of Georgia, spoiler alert, don't really give a shit what you think about his high school football tape. He does not care. So he's not really being selective and precise about the order in which his clips happen. So if you go watch Roderick Robinson's 8-game highlights right now, you might think that he is thunder, and he is thunder. But if you didn't wait 2.5 minutes, you might not have seen the lightning. And you might have left thinking that he's only thunder, just like I did the first time I watched it. And then I went back and said, whoa, he's got it? He's got the gear that we need to be an SEC football player. He's got the gear that turns him from a Elijah Holyfield into a Zamir White, because there is a difference. He's got that gear, folks, and I'm about to show it to you right here. Okay? Again, the first couple of clips, I'm with y'all. I see thunder. I see big joker that's downhill once we get the motor rolling. I don't see a bunch of high knee drive, right? I see kind of a, look, that knee does not get up. That knee does not get up, okay? We can sit there. We can pause that over and over again. We talked about it earlier. I'm not a tight hip savant. I don't like tight hip football players. We won't sign them if I'm a head football coach. However, it may seem like we're a little tight hipped. And again, it may seem like we're a 4.65 runner or a 4.7 runner. It may seem like we're not really pulling off on folks. I see it too, guys. I see one cut McGee. I see looking like we're high school Derrick Henry out there playing against San Diego competition. I see thunder. I see all of it. I see what you are saying. And then, as if I were the wonton lady at Dude, Where's My Car? And then he takes his 65 and jumps over folks and a little jump cut, a little ha. Look, whoa, where'd that come from? Look at this. This was 2.5 minutes in. I had to go searching for it. Look, breaks 2 tackles, jumps over 1, reverses field. What? Reverses field, beats the angle from the linebacker. Oh my God, no way in hell the guy we just watched the last couple of clips is about to score, and he does. Where's the lightning? Bubba, it was 2.5 minutes in. You had to go looking for it, okay? And if you didn't, and then you didn't wait around and see it, you didn't get to see it. It's there. It's all there. It's what we need. We need defying angles. We need, hey, can you take it 60? We need, hey, can you at least take it 45? Hey, if we gave you truck sweep against Florida and it's blocked up perfectly and the safety's all the way over across the field before he's even sniffing the football play, can you run it 75 yards to start the football game? Zamir White? All these things matter. This one really nailed it home for me right here. Okay, he's going to jump over this guy. Now, there is a reacceleration process as running backs, right? We go to make one guy miss. We come to a dead stop. We got to pick back up. We got to go. We got to go. What does that look like? That's lightning to me. That's not thunder. That's the lightning. That's what you guys want. Yeah, I want 10-3 speed. That's great. He's 240 pounds. He's not going to have that. Okay? But what he does have is this right here. Watch him pull off right here. Watch that. That last gear, once his feet get up underneath him, that is it. That's the click that I needed to see when I flipped on that senior tape. Roderick Robinson, my guy, number 5. Also, a bonus character eval. Absolutely elite character eval on that kid. What are we doing in today? 2 hours and 33 minutes. I swear, if you don't hit that thumbs up button, I'm coming to find every single one of you. And I also swear, if you're one of the people that watched every single one of these minutes today and you're not on patreon.com/Brooks Austin, what are you doing? What happened? Come on, get over there. Patreon.com/Brooks Austin for Brooks Austin for the Film God Network, for the Gramco.com/Brooks Austin, our promo code Brooks25. I'm out, man. I'm exhausted. It was a long day. I hope you guys appreciated the coverage. I'm out. Love you.